Hey, hey, hey. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Themis and Thoughts. Grab your coffee, water, tea, whatever you're drinking. Go and get that. Um, so we do have a lot to get into. Welcome to everyone that is in the chat. I appreciate you guys being here. Before we get into this, I decided that I would do a slideshow about I would do a slideshow about the Grammys because if I don't, I'm going to be all over the place. I still am going to be all over the place because the Grammy is annoying. So I'm just going to start with the Grammys. Then I will go to Chris's interview. I think his name was Zach. But Chris interviewed a guy that I wanted to review that. But as we do in the pre-show, before we get to the actual show, I have some things that I want to discuss. The first of which is Rihanna. So Rihanna did an interview for her upcoming Super Bowl performance. Pre-recorded. No, this is not pre-recorded. I'm live. She did an interview talking about condensing her songs into whatever. I'm just gonna hold off on my comments. I do hope she is practicing, rehearsing. Um, I don't know if I like the fact that her big comeback is at the Super Bowl. So I'm just gonna leave that alone, put that on the table for now, whatever. And then I'm gonna go to Detroit. A moderator sent me a link, and this link was to a video that I didn't watch. But the title says Detroit Black men are pumping gas for Black women at nighttime. And I was like, oh, this is good. I'm going to bring this to the live stream and I'm going to show you guys these men doing something good or whatever. And so I didn't watch it and I didn't realize it was from O'Shea Duke Jackson. Or at least O'Shea Duke Jackson was reviewing the man. And I'm so confused as to the commentary. So I'm going to play a part of the commentary and we can talk. I would do a voting in the chat, but I don't care to vote. But I thought this was a good thing. If there is a lot of issues in Detroit with people getting robbed and all of that, then Black men coming together to do to pump gas and to be there, I thought that would be a good. I don't know. I thought that would be a good thing. But this is O'Shea's commentary, and I would go to his comment section, but I'm not about to do that. This is his commentary, and we're going to speed this up.
Get a lot of criticism for not protecting Black women, specifically from some Black women who even devalue them or criticize them. I want to draw your attention to a video that I saw on the topic called Black Men Don't Protect Black Women. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with the video, but it is quite polarizing on the topic. And I want to play a little bit of that to kind of get the feeling of what I believe a lot of Black women agree with.
Sometimes you get frustrated because you expect that you would get the same you would get some reciprocity from Black men, seeing that they may understand one part of your disadvantage, perhaps they would understand all of it, but unfortunately they don't. And what is really difficult is the fact that some of the change in terms of where Black people stand as a community, in terms of white supremacy, a lot of the change that could be made to improve that lies with Black men because they have the privilege. When you have your privilege, same as a white person, if you have the privilege in that way, you can use your voice to elevate the voices of those who are less privileged because people are going to listen to you more so than the less privileged. And people also tend to listen to people that look like them. So if white people speak to other white people about racism, they're more likely to listen to other white people than they are to listen to Black people or to listen to Asian people. It's the same with Black men. If Black men elevated our voices, Black women's voices, and spoke about these issues, other Black men, and perhaps I won't go as far as white men, but other Black men would be more inclined to listen to them because another Black man is telling them, which in a way is very sad. It's like, why should somebody of your race and gender have to speak up for you when I'm right here? Your sister looks like me, your mum looks like me. Why wouldn't you want to listen? But the way that white patriarchy is set up, we're just done out here. So that is one of the reasons why people think that Black men are the weakest links. I mean, I don't see the lie, to be honest. I really don't see the lie. I would like to think that there's going to be change. And I'd like to think the more we speak up about these issues, especially online, I think there is a slow growth of consciousness, of wokeness. I think there is a slow growth amongst Black men, but we have such a long way to go. And the mouth that you're using to say not all Black men are trash, not all this, please use that same energy to talk to a boy when your boy is insulting a black woman, or insulting women in general, but insulting black women, or not standing up for black women.
So, of course, this is from Sincerely Agosa. She's in London, but nevertheless, I would think that this argument of protecting black women is even applicable to the United States. Now, speaking of that, there are a group of black men called New Era Detroit. And of course, listening to that video, we understand what the issue is. Now, in her video, it was protecting black women from like white supremacy and things like that. But now in this particular video, these brothers in Detroit are protecting black women in their community who are coming home from work at dark. Now, a lot of these brothers have armed guns, and what they're doing is they're loading black women's groceries in their cars, pumping gas, and doing things like that. And as you can see, these brothers are doing that, and they're protecting these women from these, in other words, black pookies and rares. All right. Now I know that there are going to be a lot of black.
Okay, so a moderator sent this to me, and I promise I did not see that O'Shea was reviewing it. I promise all I wanted to do was to come on, and I told him before I watched the video, when the moderator sent it to me, I said, hey, this is good. I will actually do this, because I think a lot of people think that all I want to do is like not show the good. So like I literally wanted to show this. So I tried to find a review of it where people were just saying, oh, this is good, just so I can just put it on and leave. No one is saying it's good. In fact, a lot of people in this comment section are saying these men are simps. Actually, his title of the video says, Detroit, let me make this big so you can see that I'm not lying. It says, Detroit black men are pumping gas for black women at night. Are they simps? That is his title. And I think O'Shea knows, and he's going to explain this, he knows that it's a good thing. This is what we should be doing. But he has to cater to his audience. Like, how is this? If these men were trying to be with these women, then sure, you might have an argument there. But they're just doing that. In Atlanta, I think there was a similar thing where people would stay, not for women, but for children. When it's after dark and the school bus came too late, the parents would be out there waiting. And I think this is just community involvement in a really, really good way. I don't know how you can twist this into something bad. Oh, but he does. Oh, but he does twist it into something bad.
Black men, they're going to have a problem with what these black men are doing. And of course, I guess maybe like 6 years ago, I would possibly have some umbrage or take some umbrage with it. Not because I don't think that black women deserve to be protected, because they do. But I think that also what a lot of black men would be concerned with is that, all right, you black men are protecting these women and pumping their gas, but why don't these women have husbands? Are we pretty much rewarding these particular sisters for not making the right decisions in the minute they should be dealing with? Now, let me just say this, right? As a black man, my mother is divorced and my mom's in her 70s. Would I appreciate some black men looking after my grandma?
So the argument essentially is, if a woman does not have a husband, they're not deserving of like any excuse, literally any excuse to not do what you think you're supposed to do, any excuse to not help, any excuse to not be a good civil human being. Like, at what point, like, how is this how is this the argument? How, like, I am so confused as to how you are going to take something so beautiful, because I think this is fundamentally good. I don't care who says what. I don't really care. I think this is a good thing. How do you take that and say, oh, well, you're incentivizing bad behaviors because these women need to have husbands to protect them? What? It's not like any fight is going to break out with a bunch of men at the gas station armed. It is less likely, and especially if it's known, it's less likely that any bad actors will try to do anything, because it's now known that these women in this particular location are protected. I'm not sure. I don't know how your mind goes to, but like their husband should be protecting them. So like, why are you like, O'Shea, Duke Jackson, you don't have to do it. These other men are doing it. You don't have to do it. And the men in your comment section also don't have to do it. Other men will do it. Like no one is asking you to do it. Like this is really like I am frustrated, by the way, because I I don't want to talk about private messages between myself and anyone. So if the moderator is here who sent it to me, if you want to show yourself, then I can say. But this moderator sent it to me, and I wasn't sure why, but I thought it was just a good thing. Like we are gonna watch men in Detroit. Kind of watching their community at night. And I was going to say, I like this. We need to see more of this. I'm grateful this is happening. That was going to be the end. Little did I know that O'Shea Duke Jackson would be the one talking about it. Little did I know that they were going to say men shouldn't be doing this because single women don't need like, can you imagine? We have a community where there are some people, there are some children without parents. So are you saying an 18-year-old should be married? Like I'm confused. Are you saying that a widowed person should not be protected? Like I am very much confused. Also, are you saying that a woman who is, I don't know, 30, who is unmarried, do not deserve protection? And the question is protection from who? Because it's not other women that they're afraid of going to the gas station. It's not other women. Oh, but it's the pookies, the quote unquote pookies and ray rays. It's very convenient to disassociate yourself. No, it's black man in Detroit at this time, and other black men are coming together and say, "Yeah, let's do something about it." And you're saying, "Oh, don't protecting them. You don't protect them. You're incentivizing bad behavior." No, what you're doing is incentivizing bad behavior when you say these women don't need protecting. That's what you're doing. Like,
or my mom or my sister, which, this is a lot of black women that are just coming home from work, black women who are just doing the right thing, and they don't want to be robbed or taken advantage of by these, hoodlums out there. So I have a lot of respect for what these black men are doing. Let's just keep it a buck. I'm just gonna be real. And I've said it before in some of my videos. Black men don't have a lot of ownership in the black community, so that's why women don't respect them. And so I think what these guys are doing is a first step for black men getting their respect. And I know a lot of people are looking at this like these black men are simps for doing this, which I don't believe that that's the case. I believe that these brothers are trying to do the right thing, which is keeping the women in their communities safe. However, I got to talk about this, and that is this, right? These black men are risking their lives for certain women who might be, I would say single moms, and these women have babies by men who would never do the same thing for them. And it would be different if, you had a group of married men in there coming in, protecting their wives in the community, which is what married men typically do. But I would bet that a lot of these ladies that are in this particular neighborhood are unmarried, and many of them have kids. So what are we teaching them? Well, we're teaching them that, hey, listen, you don't need to get a husband. You don't need to pick the right man, because some other group of black men will come out and protect you, put gas.
I'm so sorry. This is degenerate. These people are degenerate. Like, I am so sorry. This is like actually a problem. The fact that you can take something so meaningful, black men came together and said, the women in the community need protecting from other black men. And we are going to come together and make sure that after dark, when women are going to pump their gas, that we are there, that when they're getting their groceries, we are there. No one said other black men should do that. I would say other black men should do that in communities that they've caused to be a problem. But no one is telling you, these men aren't saying, yeah, that's what you should do. They are doing it. And you have a problem talking about it's incentivizing bad behaviors from baby mothers. Like, so they should be out there for, like, I am so confused. Like, I'm actually kind of confused about that. Like, how do you take something so good, like so actually good? Black men decided to come together and do something good, like something meaningful, something really, really good and positive. And you took that, you told them they were simps and that those women need to get husbands to go protect them and that you shouldn't do it. Why would you do that? Like, I don't understand, like, what kind of community are you guys trying to create? There are women out there currently unmarried. There are women out there with children and a single mother, let's do that, because the dad isn't there. Or what are we supposed to do with those women? Like, I'm so confused. Are they not in need? Are they not a part of the community? I don't understand. There were 2 super chats. Let me read those. They still trying to promote underage marriage once again. Must be MJ. Thank you. Must be, because that doesn't make any sense. What are the young girls going to do if they're not married and they don't have the father in the home? Oh well, it's the mother's fault again. Like, I don't understand. Like, why are you? I feel like you shouldn't be attacking in any way these men. Like, this is the representation. I feel like this is the representation we should want. Like, even if you don't agree with it, just don't say anything. This is good. This is good representation. That means within the community, there is an attempt to take control in a positive way. That is good. I don't know how you could find anything bad with this. This is a good thing. These men are doing a good thing, but no, here you go, dissuading men from engaging in positive behaviors, and have your idiot people under your comments just typing away. One of the Black women who got killed was married, right? Like, I hate this. We're going to talk about marriage in 2 minutes too, before we even start. The video hasn't even started. Let me hurry up and get through this. Thank you.
In your car, pack your groceries, while you can go ahead and choose whoever you want, and whatever you decide you want to do, and I'm trying to tread lightly, and we'll still do it anyway because you're in our community. We're going to protect the women in our community when the dude that you're dealing with won't do anything for you. Let me say this. If Black men all around the country start to do this, it is respectful, but it's sending, in a way, the wrong message that here's another bailout. And what needs to happen is women in the Black community, and this is going to be controversial, but if you're a woman that's married to a man, if you're a woman married in the Black community, you're a woman that's, in the community, right?
No, I'm going to stop you. Men in the community should stop attacking and victimizing the women. That's where we need. You're talking about women need to get married to be protected. How about men in the community stop attacking these women? Like, I don't understand how you are blaming the victims for their victimhood. Like, I don't understand that. Like, you're incentivizing bad behaviors. They say they protect their community, but now there's a requirement, but Black women are supposed to support them regardless, no matter who they are, right? Like, yeah. Like, I am literally confused. I'm so confused. And I think there's a part of me that feels like he is annoyed by this reality because other men are doing what he failed to do, i.e. try to protect their community, right? And so while he's conflicted in that he knows it's a good thing, but he has to trash it to explain why he hasn't done that or promoted it. So he has to explain now why he hasn't promoted this or why this is not the move. Like, these men online aren't saying, men, come together and protect your community. They're not saying that. So they have to justify why they're not saying that. And this is the justification for why they're not saying, hey, we need to take responsibility and take care of our community. Nope, they're not going to do that. So to actually take responsibility away and make it look like they're doing the right thing by not promoting this, you have to explain that doing this, protecting your community, protecting the women in your community is a bad thing. Like, how do you fix your face to say it's a bad thing? We know you didn't do it. Just take the L that the manosphere has never done this and move on. Find their Cash App, donate to them. I don't know. Figure something out. But because you didn't do it, don't come and demonize it now. Like, don't demonize people trying to protect the community. Thank you, MJ. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Then you deserve this treatment. I don't believe you said.
It's sad because, like, sorry, I have to stop again. If this was the image on CNN, NBC, if this was the image all over the media, this would be a net positive for Black man's image. This is good. This is like, I don't know what to say. Like, this is like actually good. How do you demonize something and bastardize something so good? Like, just objectively good.
Woman has put herself out there, watched over, especially if it's a woman who has multiple guys and dealt with multiple men, and they've dealt with these men, that these men won't take care of her. And so now these guys are risking their lives trying to combat these guys. And if we want to be honest, a lot of these hoodlums are coming from single parent homes. So let's go ahead and protect you ladies from some of the kids that you may have created with the guy that you didn't care about that might be out here robbing and shooting other people. We're not getting to the point. What needs to happen for the Black community is two things. Number one, we need women to believe in marriage to the right men. That's what, a lot of ladies don't like that. I get it, but that's what we need. Then we need Black men, and I like what the brothers are doing, to create resources to protect these particular women, whether it's businesses, men working together. And I like what the Black men are doing. I'm actually going to go ahead on and hit them for the Cash App. I know y'all going to think that I'm simping for that, but I'm going to support the brothers what they're doing. I think it's a step in the right direction. Black men, if you want to get respect, you have to do something. And I think this is what they're thinking is the best way. But what's going to happen is it's still the empowerment of the bad decision making that led to why New Era is partly a bad neighborhood or a dangerous neighborhood in the first place. Because you don't have probably a lot of businesses there. You don't have a lot of married people.
I literally can't. I can't. Like, how do you even try to do good in the community when this is what you're met with? At least rhetorically online. Like, I can understand why some Black men don't want to deal with other Black men within the community. This does not make sense. Your platform is too big to be promoting this. I'm actually kind of confused, because even in the end, he's saying, I'm going to find their Cash App to donate. So this is good. Like, I'm so confused. Like, I understand wanting to placate your audience. Like, I get that. I will never do it, but I get it. Don't talk about it then, because you are literally justifying degeneracy, talking about how only certain women in the community need protection. Like, oh my God. This is what they do to their positive promotion. Yeah. And I can't even find a video of the actual, I cannot find a video of the actual group where they're talking about what they do. And I wish I could have found that, because this is kind of ridiculous now. Like, oh my God. Like, you put simp anywhere in that title and you're annoying. You're just annoying. The manosphere agenda is to shame and destitute Black women into control. Their talking points are all about access, nothing else, nothing more. That's why they talk about nothing else. They don't talk about anything else. Yeah, I will venture to say you're correct on that. I actually have another video. It's about marriage also. Like, these people are obsessed with marriage, but I'm going to play this video because I think that I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. Like, we get positive promotion and you decided to just wrap it up and throw it away. I don't know why you would do something like that, but okay. All right. So I'm minding my business and this popped up. So let's watch this foolishness together. Thank you, MJ.
Do you have a daughter?
Do you have a daughter?
Yes.
But would you tell your daughter, like, hey, I need you to go to school. I need you to get your degree because I don't want you to depend on a man.
No.
Would you push her to say, hey, be married, do this, do that, like, just depend on a man?
Me personally,
what would you teach your daughter?
Me personally, I'm telling my daughter now at 13, the most important thing she can get in life is a good man. More important than your degree, more important than your fucking career, more important than any of that bullshit. Because how many fucking celebrities that you know that's rich, famous, got more money than you gonna ever get in your life, have more fame than you gonna ever get in your life, is more beautiful than you ever gonna be in your life, and they're miserable. They don't have a man. They can't keep a man. They're miserable. Look at Taraji P. Henderson. She like 50 right now, going on a fucking vacation, trying to find, what the fuck she said? Her inner peace.
She did say she was unhappy.
Exactly. She's famous and rich. Why are you unhappy? You know why? She has no fucking man, because you were made to pair with a man. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much degrees you got. When you're old and lonely, sitting in that mansion and there's nobody there for you to love, take care of, and you sitting on Instagram seeing all these couples and posting all these fucking somebody's son memes, because bitches are dating memes now. They're posting memes of other couples on vacation going, oh yeah, God gonna see this guy.
Me and somebody's son.
Somebody's son. Okay. That's what you really want. All this money don't mean shit if he's not there to share it with.
Okay, so
the money means nothing. The degree means nothing. You need the man.
I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I can tell people how to raise their children. You raise your child the best way you know how to raise your child, because let me just go ahead and play it.
And I lived with my mother. She basically was an absent parent. For a period of time, it was kind of like I raised myself. Nobody was there.
For context, because Layla won't say it, like Layla would be alone for days or weeks at a time as like a 9-year-old.
But either way, I think it was that plus then when I finally moved in with my dad, when they figured out that my mom was not meant to be a parent, my dad, he's always just instilled like a huge sense of like, you need to have your own career, you need to make your own money, like you need to be self-sufficient as a woman. It was hearing that as I'm growing up. That is the priority. I think what a lot of women hear is the priority is like, you're going to have a family and you're going to have kids. Like, that's what you do. Versus like my dad was like, you make money, you have a living of your own, you have a career, like that's what you do. And so if you're told that enough times, I think that becomes kind of your frame of the world.
Where do you think that independence came from?
When my parents separated and I lived with my mother, she basically was an absent parent. For a period of time, it was kind of like I raised myself. Nobody was there.
For context, because Layla won't say it, like Layla would be alone for days or weeks at a time as like a 9-year-old.
But either way, I think it was that plus then when I finally moved in with my dad, when they figured out that my mom was not fit to be a parent, my dad, he's always just instilled like a huge sense of like,
Sorry, I didn't mean to put the poll up. I was trying to change the question of the poll, but it's fine. The issue that I'm having is I don't think these people are being honest, and I don't know how to make people honest, right? Tell the truth and say that you are intimidated by people who are successful, particularly women who are successful. Tell that truth. Deal with that. And once you're honest about why it is that you find degrees and employment intimidating, right, in a woman, you can go to therapy and fix it. Am I doubting that these men will tell their daughters that the most important thing is a man? I am not doubting that. I think these people are delusional enough to believe that that's the thing and that's what you should focus on. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, because this binary thinking is kind of rudimentary, right? It misses the entire point. It misses the entire. These are the same people who are saying 50-50. I'm not sure how a woman is supposed to go 50-50 with you if they don't have good employment or an education to the extent that they're trying to get a professional sort of career. I am not sure what they're supposed to do, but what they're not going to do is be able to stay at home while you work in this inflated economy. Like, are we just going to pretend that that's not a thing? There is a trend on TikTok that I absolutely hate. And it's a bunch of young white girls who went to college, and at graduation, they're showing off their rings, right? Their engagement or marriage ring. It's a trend on TikTok. I'm not playing it here because of the music, but there's a ton of them. You can find it. A bunch of these women are showing off the ring. I don't like it because it's not my thing. But what that tells me is that there are a ton of women going to colleges and finding their mates in colleges and getting married and getting together. I know this personally, and I wanted to check to make sure it's true. Assortative dating is a thing, or mating is a thing. You tend to date people in your surrounding, in your same socioeconomic status, same educational level, except in the Black community, right? And it's interesting because all of my friends, every single one of my friends, right, who are in a relationship, they're in a relationship with another lawyer or a doctor or an accountant. It's a thing. And so I had to go outside of my friendship circle to go see if other people are doing the same. And yes, other people are doing the same. Like, a bunch of my attorney friends are married to other attorneys, are engaged to other attorneys, or engaged to doctors, or dating like that's what they do. The young professionals are linking up and they're getting together. I'm not quite sure why these men are. Well, I guess if if let's do this. If it is the case that people tend to marry in their educational level, at their socioeconomic level, that kind of thing. If that is true, then the reality might be if you guys get too educated, you will be outside of that market. And dating across socioeconomic lines, dating across educational lines, it tends to not work out well as a general matter. There are too many differences. And when it's a man who is on the lower end of the socioeconomic spectrum and the educational spectrum, there tends to be ego involved. So maybe there is something to it, right? Like maybe there is something to it. And I will get into this. I'm going to open the panel. I think I'm just going to end it now because we've been on for 30 minutes. So I'm going to read the super chats and then jump right into the actual video, because I want y'all to come up and we can talk about this at some point. So it is what it is. Gia says cowardice is the highest. Cowardice in the highest form. Agreed. I think you're talking about the first video with O'Shea. I don't think O'Shea has have a backbone and just want to be like, it screams, I want friends. He'll say whatever message is the flavor of the month. I actually agree with that because I think he knows this is a good thing. Like, you had to know that was a good thing. We are under the impression they care about their daughters. There are no women in these men's lives, including their mothers, that they humanize. I actually agree with you. I don't think no man in in this economy understanding how other groups of people operate would in good faith tell their daughter to prioritize dating. Now, I don't see dating as a zero. Like, I don't think you have to put aside education to date. I think you can do both. I think you can get an education, get a career, and date. I think the problems that comes with that, you can navigate it because I've seen so many people do it. Like, so many people do it. OMG, is he serious? Shaking my head. I hope his daughter doesn't listen to his foolishness. Like, are they serious? You need a man. Wow, that's disingenuous. Yeah. Yeah. They're not even saying we need each other. They're like, no, you were made for a man. Degrees and employment will always be a threat to underachieving, low value, manipulative, future abusive person. Completely agree on that. MJ Concern says, we keep acting like these men who abandon their children in mass will not be self-serving in their theoretical parenting. Not in their theoretical. Wait, wait, concern. Wait, concern. Why are you dragging me? I think on that note, concern is on time out. Concern, you're on time out, and that's just that on that. Let's get into the video now. The theoretical. Oh, I didn't hit the star. So, how do I put this delicately? Because I don't wanna be mean to the Grammys as if I care about being mean to the Grammys. I don't wanna. I'm trying to see how do I start? I, how do how do I start talking about the Grammys? All right, let me just put it up. So like it is my opinion, we are in my condo. We are drinking mimosas and we are just sitting in a circle and we're talking. So nothing I say should be used outside of this. I don't mean much of everything that I say, but I'm going to just say the Grammys, they are outdated. The attempts to be modern and trendy is like a person who's past their prime trying to fit in with high schoolers. It's not cute. It does not look good. It is actually horrendous. I don't know why people watch anymore, but it's really annoying. I wish they actually cared about art, and I wish the voting block within the Grammy and the Academy cared about actually keeping some sense of credibility, right? It doesn't have the impact that it once did. The political nature, I think, of the Grammys and all their speaking and all of the foolishness that comes out, I think ultimately undermines the legitimacy of the award show. Now, on a positive note, Trevor Noah was a good host. The fact that the biggest artist, I don't know if you guys watched, I had to go back. The fact that the biggest artists of our generation, whether or not you like them, this is just a fact. It absolutely is annoying that they all sat in the crowd and none of them took the stage. Like, I don't know in what world that we have Beyonce. We might not like J-Lo, but she is one of the biggest artists out now. Who else was there? Adele was there. Taylor Swift, even if we don't like her, she can get her Buffy the Vampire looking self up there and do something. I don't know what, anything. The fact that they were all there and none of them, like they were in the crowd. How are you not on stage? SZA had arguably one of the bigger albums this year, and she did not even go upstairs. How is SZA not performing? How is SZA up there handing out awards and not performing? So Beyonce didn't perform. To be fair, the fact that they even got the fact that they got Beyonce to even show up is I'm pretty sure Beyonce was like, look, I'm gonna need all of these things. We're gonna get into Beyonce in a moment. But the fact that Beyonce showed up was charity. At this point, the fact that Adele, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, the fact that they showed up is them doing charity at this point. At this point, the stars are bigger than the award show, and that's the problem. Before I go to the next slide, Robert Glasper won. What did he win? R&B Album of the Year, I think. Now, why is Chris Brown putting out messages, I think, on Instagram? When I say tweeting, by the way, I just mean all social media, because I just use tweeting to mean posted. So Chris Brown decided to post and delete, so again, emotional, that we don't know who Robert Glasper is. Girl, Chris Brown, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We might not know this person. We might know them. It is fine. All we know is that it's not you. I am always grateful when you don't win anything. So good on the Grammys for having some kind of standard. Good on the Grammys for having at least some kind of standard. Because if Chris Brown ever win anything again, I'm just gonna lose it a little. All right. So let's talk about Beyonce. Let's talk about Beyonce, Giselle, Grammy Knowles. Let's do it. Because what y'all are not going to do is play with her. That's what y'all not going to do. So, Miss Grammy Knowles is has won the most Grammy of any human being ever, and that's just period. Like, I have an issue, right? I have an issue with the Grammys she won, but I'll explain that in a moment because the Young Turks, I actually have never thought I would say this, that I'm going to discuss the Young Turks in reference to Beyonce and the Grammy. Before we get into my issue with the Grammys itself, I'm going to play a little part of the Young Turks. Let me close my slide for a moment because they caught themselves trying to check us for being upset with the Grammys. So let's hear what the Young Turks had to say about our outrage about Beyonce not winning Album of the Year. Let's do it because they just stepped in front of a train and we're gonna keep driving. It is what it is.
But it drive me crazy.
So there's that. They don't drive me crazy. I just think they need to calm down and just turn the TV off or switch the channel to something else that doesn't make you so. No, but let them believe what they want to believe. Okay, it's called your opinion, man, as Jake likes to say. Like it is what it is. What are you gonna do? You're gonna ban the Grammys? You're gonna get into the weeds of what the Grammys can and can't allow.
They're not actually vampires when they dress up as vampires, and they're not looking.
Absolutists now want to censor artistic expressions they don't agree with. So that's going on the right. Okay, let's move on to the left because I've got some stuff to say about them, guys. Beyonce broke a record for the number of Grammys she won, okay? She's appreciated. Calm the hell down. Like the amount of like lunacy I'm seeing on Twitter about Beyonce not winning Album of the Year is insane. There, I said it. Okay, let's talk about it for a second. Beyonce, very talented, okay? She has racked up 88 Grammy nominations over her career, but she broke a record because she won 32 Grammys. She has won 32 Grammys. Yeah. Every headline I saw from last night was Beyonce broke a record, Beyonce is star of the night, Beyonce wins dozens and dozens of Grammys in her career. But Harry Styles, okay, yes, a white guy, won Album of the Year. I don't listen to Harry Styles. I don't know what his music sounds like. I don't know what a Harry Styles is. All I know is everyone needs to calm the hell down. Just because Harry Styles won doesn't mean the Grammys are automatically racist.
First of all, Anna, I love you. I actually really like this woman. I'm generally okay with her politics. I disagree with her politically on a lot of things. But the moment you said you don't listen to Harry Styles and you don't know what this album is about, you're disqualified. You are disqualified from the conversation. Now, I don't like people saying, oh my God, racism. Like, we need to like be clear about certain things before we do that. But as it relates to people's outrage about Album of the Year, it does not matter if Beyonce won all 88 of the nominations. It does not matter. If in one category, we're discussing it in isolation about who has the best album, unless you're coming out here to tell us why Harry Styles, who did perform looking a mess at the Grammys, literally off-key the entire night, unless you're going to tell us why he deserved it, no. And I'm not just saying this as a fan of Beyonce. I am saying if we are looking at a specific category, and I'm not even saying Kendrick Lamar was in there. Kendrick Lamar is like one of my favorite rappers, second only to Lupe Fiasco. You can fight with yourself on that. I am not about to get into it with you. But even if Adele had won, no, if Adele had won, I'd have a problem. But I wouldn't have this kind of problem. So it is weird to me that you who do not know what Harry Styles is, you're like, calm down, why are you guys outraged? Maybe people are outraged, and I'm not saying this is true, but maybe people are outraged because they compared the two albums, and on every criteria, Harry Styles might have lost in their mind. So unless you're willing to defend Harry Styles, no, you don't use the fact that Beyonce has won the most Grammy of any human beings, period, to talk about whether or not she deserves a very specific Grammy. No. Someone said Harry Styles was off-key. Oh, we're going to get into Harry Styles and the performance if you can call it that, the rehearsals that he went through live on TV. Nalice World says, we start at Harry Styles winning and saying men like him don't win when men like him created the Grammys. Huh? I'm going to need him to make it make sense. Yeah, I'm going to need someone to find out what Harry Styles meant by men like him don't usually win these awards. Because last time I checked, men like him always won. Beck. All right, let's continue.
It was a racist motivation for giving him that win. He was like heckled as he was doing his acceptance speech.
That's insane.
Yeah, people were like screaming Beyonce's name. Adele left as he started his acceptance speech.
That's so unbelievably rude too. Look, I don't care about the Grammys at all. I don't care about music. I don't know it, etc. But here is an argument that makes.
Okay, so you just disqualified yourself. I don't care about the Grammys. I don't care about music generally. Why are y'all speaking? Is Harry Styles queer? I thought Harry Styles was a straight man. Like, last I checked, Harry was straight, just queer baiting or something. I don't know. I don't follow Harry Styles. I listen to him. I like his music insofar as I will not change the radio station if his songs come on. I won't go out of my way to play Harry Styles, but like, it's agreeable. It's mediocre, it's good, it's what we all come to know and understand about basic pop. But I'm not gonna change the station because Harry Styles is on. It's like, okay, girl, you do you, and I will listen. I won't do a 1-2 step. I might bop my head back and forth if the beat drops well, but like, it is what it is. Like, it's not good, it's not great, it's mediocre. His vocals are also mediocre. We'll wait for Harry Styles. The thing that I don't understand is, how do we compare Harry Styles to literally anyone in the group, the category that he's in? He can't compare to Adele, he can't compare to Beyonce, and he can't compare to Kendrick Lamar. The albums are not on the same level at all. I don't care about anyone's feelings, they just aren't. And he definitely can perform. Well, he has given good performances. I'll give him that. He has given good performances.
No sense. The person who has broken the record for the most amount of Grammys is being discriminated against. For whatever reason. How could she be discriminated against if she has more than any other person on the planet? That is a very curious way of discriminating. And as great as Beyonce is, and apparently she's amazing, because look at all her fans, look at her.
All right. So the question is, how is the person with the most amount of Grammys, how can we make the argument that she's been discriminated against? I think we need to be honest about something, and I hate doing this because to be truthful, it feels like you have to kind of diminish some of Beyonce's work, and I don't like that. I don't like that. But before I'm going to explain how. Let me let him finish, and then I'll explain how. Because I don't think they are actually being genuine in asking the question, but I'm going to assume they are and just answer it anyways.
How many Grammys she's won? Look at all her record sales. No one on planet Earth disputes that Beyonce is awesome. Okay, she does not have the right to every single award. Other people are allowed to win awards. People are allowed to vote for things and believe that in this case, Harry Styles' record was a little bit better than Beyonce. Album, sorry.
That's fine. We're not talking about the principle. Sure, other people are allowed to win. The question is not whether or not other people are allowed to win. The question is, did they deserve to win in that category against her body of work in that time? And if you don't know the answer to that, then you don't have the right to engage in the conversation. And you might not know the criteria, right? You might not know how they vote. That's fine. But also, you don't get to talk about it. If you don't know Beyonce's record and you don't know Harry Styles' record, okay, we get your principle. But you don't know what we're talking about. So you are not right there. Like, no.
Best record was a different category, which was won by Lizzo. So
is that discrimination against someone else?
Everybody just calm down. I just think that at this point.
All right. So they said, Oh. I'm going to send out this link. Because Money is the person that I'm going to send it to Money because I'm actually annoyed. And what I'm not about to do is sit here by myself and be annoyed. So I'm going to send this out to Money. While I do that, let me just say this. Because I am very much confused and concerned with how these two people can sit up here and pretend like they don't understand racism. That's the first thing, the first issue that I have. The second and most important issue that I have is I think these people are lying. I think these people are lying. Yes, Beyonce has the most Grammy of any person, living or dead. That's great. That's fine. That's true. But unfortunately, most of Beyonce's, fortunately or unfortunately, but most of Beyonce's nominations and wins specifically are not in the big four. Hopefully I made a slide about the big four categories in the Grammy, but I'm going to tell you guys that it is strange to me. Sorry, I'm trying to send out the link. It is strange to me that they even brought up Lizzo. Let me go through some of Beyonce's Grammy. The fact that B-Day was never nominated for Album of the Year does not make any sense, but period. I Am Sasha Fierce lost to Taylor Swift Fearless. Literally makes no sense. Beyonce's self-titled album, Beyonce, lost to Beck. The group came out, by the way, the Grammys behind the scenes people came out and talked about, when Fearless won for Taylor Swift, they were like, it's about popularity. So when Beyonce released Beyonce and Beck won, people were like, we thought it was about a popularity. Oh no, it's about artistry. So how did Taylor Swift win the year before? Whatever. Lemonade lost to Adele. I liked Adele's 25 album, or at least I like Hello from Adele's 25 album. I'm not sure how Lemonade lost to Adele's album. Whatever. Black is King was not nominated for Album of the Year. I don't know why. Renaissance now lost to Harry Styles. Absolutely not. This is not cute. This is not good, and it is wrong. But specifically as it has to do with racism and the categories that Beyonce won in, let me add Money. Hey, Money. Hey, how are you? Hello? Hey, sorry. I'm about to go off and I don't want to. So I'm glad you were watching and you let me know you were watching and you agreed to come on. But before we continue, I have to say, it is strange to me that they would point out that Lizzo winning Record of the Year is somehow meaningful. It is meaningful to her, but it proves that, it's not racist. The last Black woman to win Record of the Year was Whitney Houston in 1994. No, the fact that Single Ladies did not win Record of the Year the year it was out does not make sense to me. The fact that Halo didn't win, but I'm not just doing Beyonce, I'm just speaking specifically to the fact that these people really sat there and pointed out that Lizzo won in one of the big four categories, so people saying it's racist is weird. I'm not saying they're racist, I'm saying Lizzo is the first Black woman to win since 1994 when Whitney Houston won it for I Will Always Love You. Have they absolutely lost their mind?
For context, can you tell me what the distinction is between the album and the Record of the Year?
Oh my God, I cannot believe you asked that because I literally created a slide for it. I knew someone in the chat was going to ask. I literally have a slide for it. So the record of the year deals with the specific recording of a song and recognizes the artists, producers, and engineers who contributed to that recording, while Song of the Year deals with the composition, so the writing. Beyonce, out of all of her awards, she's only won in one of the top 4 categories, and that was Song of the Year for Single Ladies. Like, that don't make sense. Oh, I thought you were responding.
Okay, okay. I read that. So record one single song.
Huh?
The record of the year is for one specific song.
No, they're both for one song, but one is about the writing, and the other record of the year is about the composition and all of that.
Right. I was saying record of the year opposed to album of the year.
Yeah, she's never won album of the year. She won record of the song of the year for Single Ladies, but not record of the year.
Mm. Okay, okay. And also, yes, okay, Roger. Okay.
His is queer and with white, so they do win. Moreover, Beyonce should have been one in the category album of the year of her body of work alone. Yeah, she should have been one. Like, she should have won multiple times. But the big 4 categories are album of the year, record of the year, song of the year, and best new artist. Obviously, Beyonce is not going to win best new artist. Like, that's never going to happen. Which I'll get into what I liked about the Grammys in a moment. But these are the big 4s. So if we're talking about breadcrumbing, most of Beyonce's awards have R&B somewhere close to it.
Wait.
Like, it's in the R&B category that they shoved her into.
Hey, something I just realized about. You said best new artist, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was in the big 4. And so, do you think that Beyonce and Jay-Z were trying to get best new artists when they merged themselves as the Carters?
No, they would not qualify for it.
Why wouldn't they?
They're both out unless they started a group.
That was the group, the Carters. If you look back at the, why not?
They weren't even nominated.
I know, but that could still be an attempt, or that could be. You see what I'm saying?
Nope.
No, why couldn't it be a group? Are you saying it couldn't be a group?
Their husband and wife who came on and decided that, look, they're going to do this together. I don't think they were a group.
Wait, say that again.
I don't think they were a group, and I would not give it to them if I were the Academy. I would just give it to someone who was new. I think it would be unfair to even put them in the category.
Okay. It seemed like
they have an established fan base. They're well known. It's not fair to compare them to someone who was coming up.
Right. I was thinking like, what if they did that like on a technicality? Like, oh, they're a group. This is a new group. This group has never made a song before.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's been nominated for Record of the Year 8 times. Most of any person. One year she had 2 nominate. She had to nominate for Record of the Year, Black Parade and Savage. Well, yeah. Thank you, by the way, Brucington. All right. Sorry, I need to step back a little bit. Are celebrities like Satanists that I don't know about? Money.
You said, are they Satanists?
Like, are these people like outwardly Satanist?
Are they outwardly Satanists?
So, what by that I mean, are they theological Satanists? That is, do they worship a being, the Christian being called Satan?
I don't think so.
So, or are they like do as thou wilt kind of Satanist?
Oh, right. The Satanists that kind of equate atheists.
Yeah.
Do I have to choose either one? Because I don't think they're Satanists.
No, I'm just asking. Do you think they are? Because, like, for me, it feels like there is a worshiping of Satan.
I think Hollywood is done. I think Hollywood knows what to do to shock people. So I'm not sure. I don't think
None of this is shocking, though.
I mean, it shocks the right. It gets clicks.
The 70-year-old white man said he doesn't even listen to the music and said Beyonce won too many times. So he said someone else should win. Yeah. So the people who did the voting they came out and gave their reasons. I decided not to include that because if I include that, I'm just going to be annoyed all over again. Like I just thank you, Nature Calling. Yeah. I can't include that in my review. Like like the fact that these people, one of them said I don't listen to Harry Styles. Okay, why are you voting? Like I'm not caping for Harry Styles, but like if you're not listening to these people, how are you even in? How are you voting? Like why is this a thing? Let me go stream Renaissance again because they got be effed up. Nothing compares to that album, period. Even if you don't like the album, none of the album it was put up against can compete with it. It is what it is, whatever. Oh my God. I did not realize these people were Satanists, and it's really annoying. On a good note, some positive reflection. Samara Joy, beautiful, beautiful voice. I really like that she got acknowledged. She got the best new artist. I'm actually really annoyed by this. I love that she got it, but there is a theory that the people who get the best new artist kind of disappear. So whatever, I was supposed to go on a date before I was in a relationship with you all on this chat. I was supposed to go on a date and see her. I was late, never actually got to see her, but I'm very happy for her. Like, I absolutely adore her voice. She's amazing. She got Best New Album and Best Jazz Vocal Album, so she got 2 Grammys. And I'm just like, period. Absolutely love her. Do you have anything to add about Samara, by the way?
Love her. I love jazz and R&B, but really love jazz. And no, she's awesome. She gives off a really deep, rich. She's like reminiscent of Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald. And so I really like her. And I listen to her. I have YouTube has a playlist of her, and so I listen to it at work and stuff. So
Girl,
she's
our
really good.
energies are so very different on this live stream. It's not. I don't like this. The energies are not like. It's not like. I don't know. Mooney Long won Best R&B. Is it Money Long or Mooney Long? I'm gonna say Mooney Long. So someone said, "Is money a tie?" No, I saw the comment saying that our energies don't match. He's usually a hyper. I don't know. This is kind of odd now. But Mooney Long winning Best R&B performance, I could deal with. I would have given it to Jasmine Sullivan, but so everyone says Money Long. All right, I don't know why it's spelled like this, but I would have given it to Jasmine Sullivan, but I'm not mad at all about this. Demas, I practice Obia, the symbol. Wait, what do you mean you practice Obia? The symbolism isn't necessarily demonic. A lot of celebrities practice pagan practice and magic, but it's not necessarily demonic. Like Beyonce practice Ifa, but it's not evil. It's how you use it. It's how you use it. Donna Dash, thank you. You said you practice Obia. All right. I'm scared. I'm Jamaican, so Obia. Obia, are you American or Jamaican? I'm pretty sure you're Jamaican. I'm going to save this comment and we'll come back to it at the end. Please come up and we can talk. I'm here for it. I'm going to save this comment now. Thank you. And then you can come up and talk.
What's
Um,
IFA?
Ifa. I'm assuming the deity.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
So I like that Money Long got an award. The award I would have given to Jasmine Sullivan, but it is what it is. Bad Bunny won. I'm happy for him. And by the way, I just wanted to drag the chat real quick. Plastic Off the Sofa. Look it up. Money, you're on the internet, right? Every time. So people are mad at you, by the way, because they say you keep asking me things that you can look up.
Well, it's hard to look if I'm on StreamYard. It's hard to Google because then like StreamYard starts malfunctioning, and then I have to like then I have to get off and I have to like come back on. You have to add me back on. So that's what be happening when I have to I go off and I come back on. I go off, come back on. So I'm Googling things. I'm like, okay, this isn't working.
Yeah. So Plastic Off the Sofa is my bet. Someone said we hard on money. Plastic Off
I
the
know,
Sofa
right?
is one of my favorite songs off the album, and y'all wanted to rank it outside of the top 10, so I just had to remind y'all that that was a thing. I'm very excited. This was good. These were the good awards. Kendrick Lamar, everything that had the word rap in it, Kendrick Lamar won, so I'm okay with that. My BF tried to argue for Taylor stealing from Beyonce, and I almost cussed her. My best friend, sorry. Yeah, no, absolutely not. So Kendrick Lamar, great, whatever. So that now that that's over, let's get into the mess. Harry Styles. I started already, but I wanted to wait to get to my point. So also Lizzo won. I like that record of the year. How do I put this? Lizzo makes music for specific people. It's not for me. I do like her, but I cannot get into her music. It's just not it's not my thing. But let's go to Harry Styles. Harry Styles decided to come out looking like he looked. So a disco ball, I think, was his outfit. He gave absolutely nothing on stage. He cannot sing. He was everywhere else but on pitch. He might have had the notes, but I'm pretty sure those notes were post-it notes, since none of them like actually stuck. I don't understand. Like I don't understand him. Like it feels like he was locked out because he could not find the right key. All right, that's it. I'm done. It does not make sense. This man cannot sing. He cannot dance. He has no stage presence. I am terribly confused. I think he sung As It Was. He's a very good studio artist. I think he is a good studio artist. He's not really good at live performances. I don't know why he was given any of this. Like, he got Best Pop Vocal Album. I am not sure who would give him anything to do with vocal. Like, remove vocal from that award and then give it to him. Say Best Pop Album. Don't put vocal album there because then I'm going to question vocals. I'm going to look into the vocals. You can give him Best Pop Vocal Albums with Adele competing against him. Beyonce was not in this category. I don't know how you give him Best Pop Vocal Album comparing him to Adele. Makes no sense. I don't know what, like, this does. Wait, actually, go ahead. How do you respond?
I don't understand the vocal part. I have no idea. I don't get it at all. How do we qualify this?
The thing is, I think he might be one of those people who are just super nice and quote unquote marketable. And so, like, people see him, they like him, and they decide, you know what? I'm a stick beside him. Right? Like he doesn't rock the boat, Alea. He doesn't do much of anything. So you can project onto him whatever you want him to be, except a good singer, a good dancer, or a good performer. But you can project onto him anything else you want him to be. So,
Did you hear his album?
yeah.
How was it?
Mm.
You listened to the whole album?
Yeah. Yes. I listened to his entire album, and I listened to it once and never again. You don't hear it being played on the radio, which is not as Zayn. People are saying that Zayn is a better. Pillow Talk was a bop, right? And I don't dislike Harry Styles. It's just like, I don't know.
Who's saying Cake by the Ocean?
Wait, Thames won a Grammy. Oh, congrats to Thames. I don't know how I left her out. I actually really love her. Thank you, me, not me. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't want that to be missing. Go ahead.
Who wrote Cake by the Ocean? Who was that?
Oh, it's one of the Jonas brothers. I forgot which one. Joe Jonas.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't okay. I thought that might have been Zayn or somebody.
These people are gonna drag you. You keep asking me things.
Wait, I can't want to know.
Performance on Lackluster, period. Vocals where? Girl, he was everywhere but on key. He was all over the place, but never on key. How do you win best insert genre album, not one single best insert genre song award? Make it make sense. Look. He wanted to get dragged. Joe Jonas, thank you. Money works for a living, and the rest of us don't. Money, get your phone out or laptop search. All right, so I'm pretty sure the next point is Kim Petra and Sam Smith. All right.
I'm very upset with this, actually.
Wait, before you go into all right, why? Because I'm going to try to run off words that come to mind when I saw this performance. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I mean, I can do the same. We do word association, like Party City.
I mean, to be fair, you said Party City, so I will say this Party City wannabe Roman's Revenge performance was absolutely not it. It was not. So let me see some words that I would use. Underwhelming, predictable, uninspired, reductive, overdone, cheap, substandard, regrettable, confounded, dull, undistinguished. And I guess I'll round it up by saying it was low vibrational. It is not the issue that I have. The issue I have is I don't know Kim Petra. I don't know Kim Petra.
We still don't know Kim Petra.
But I think in her acceptance, she said she was the first trans woman to win a Grammy. Congrats to her on that. That's great. Let me get to it is what it is. Let me get to Sam Smith. Sam Smith is not a provocateur. He is not. The fact that he's trying so hard to give shock value is actually demeaning to his actual talent. This man can sing. I don't know. Amaris, welcome to the membership. I think I saw a member. Thank you. This man can actually sing. He does not need the gimmicks. His voice sounds like it has soul in it. Like he brings something to the table. You know how we think of Lady Gaga and her antics, and I was like for me, I'm okay with Lady Gaga having all these antics with her because while Lady Gaga can sing, she does not have what I consider to be soul. Y'all can fight yourself in the chat. I don't care. I think she can sing, but she does not have soul. On the opposite end, Rihanna is not the best singer, but I can feel the words Rihanna says. Not comparing the two because Lady Gaga can sing. Sam Smith can sing. And I don't know why it is that he feels the need to endeavor to be a provocateur because he it seems very try hard. It's very forced. It does not feel real. Like it's not him. So like I don't understand why he would get this reductive, underwhelming performance and pretend like it's good. Like, what is this evil hat? This is so on the nose. It's so predictable. It's so obvious. You name a song Unholy and you came and you made the entire scene red. You put Kim Petra in a cage. You put on a Party City hat with a horn and like twerk all over the. Like, it's so like
very terribly twerking off beat. It was terrible. And then there's fireballs in the back and stuff. I'm like, okay, guys, we get it, but
it's just bad. Actually, on the performances, I will say, Bad Bunny's performance in the beginning was good. I was okay with it. The hip hop. Oh, this is bad. The hip hop honors I really liked. And it also made me feel old because as soon as the new rappers started coming out and twerking and like, I think the young Little Baby, I don't know. They just changed the whole vibe. And I was like, for the first time, I was like, oh my God, maybe I'm old. Like, actually, though, maybe I'm old because like I got the same complaint. I think older generation were talking about our music. Because I promise you, as soon as the new artists came out and the twerking and the foolishness, I was like, oh, well, the good music went away. Like, I don't know. And maybe that's unfair.
You know what, Sam Smith? You know what, Sam Smith? I feel like the corporate overlords have like their picture or their image of what a gay artist is supposed to be like. And right now it's just this defiant, no barriers, no kind of reverence for anything kind of person. So they have Lil Nas X and they have Sam Smith, like both operating in that space. And at least Lil Nas X can sell it because he's younger, and I guess he can give off this like mischievousness, at least as a persona. Well, no, he's actually petty in real life, so that's him. But with Sam Smith, he came out soul singing and then came out as gay, and now they're trying to fit him into this box.
Yeah, but it's like, even if you're gay, like if someone said gay is a personality, it doesn't make sense that like you're wasting so much talent into trying to package shock value. Like shock value, like it's like the Grammys, it's like all of the music and the award show, it feels like fast food. It's terrible for you, it's quick and it's easy and it's for the moment. Nothing is like taking its time and developing an album and developing a voice and developing an artist. It's just like quick, money, which I get capitalism, but it's just like really disappointing. I promise you, there is absolutely no way. Beyonce is not allowed to come to my award show if she's not performing at the Grammys. Like, obviously, when she came, as soon as she came, ratings went up, right? So I get why they wanted her there. It doesn't make sense to me to have Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Adele, who else? J-Lo, all of them. It doesn't make sense to have them just sitting in the audience and then have these lower vibrational artists perform. Yeah, I needed to cut a deal with these people to perform.
I think they.
Beyonce didn't perform. Beyonce barely showed up. Beyonce was late.
Period.
Yeah, Beyonce said, "No, ma'am, I do not eat green eggs and ham."
She said she'll get there when she get there.
They probably told her she didn't win album of the year, and she was like, all right, this was cute. Not about to do that. In fact, when it was funny when Trevor Noah saw who won album of the year and he didn't read it. He was like, yeah, I'm not about to get caught up in this mess. Album of the year, and then he just went over and found the first white lady and gave it to
say it. So you say it. Trevor Noah was down. Trevor Noah stopped the show, not stopped the show, but like in the middle, he went to Jay-Z and Beyonce to give them individual like attention or like specific attention. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, but Trevor Noah's down. I didn't know Adele was walking out when Harry Styles got
I didn't know that
his acceptance
too, but
speech.
that's women sticking together. I'm here for it. Let's read some super chat. Oh, I just saved that. Harry has his break every chain outfit on. Sorry. Break every chain. Cheesy, stop bringing up the devil. It is corny. Yeah, it's like played out. It's not shocking. It's not any like. Just give us a performance. Put some thought into your performance and do it. We're tired.
Give Sam Smith some actual choreo, but I don't know what's going on with him.
Like your performance, we are tired. There was technical difficulties with the rotating set. It was moving in the wrong direction. One of the Harris backup dancers made a TikTok. All right, good. I hope this is true. Because honestly, the only reason that's not the only reason. I'm dragging Harry because I saw that performance and I was like, this man can't dance. He looks like it was.
He's sweating.
The entire performance looked a mess. So I do hope there's technical difficulties because the way I was watching, like, oh my God, what is this? So I want the money that I did not pay back. Like
yeah.
I want all that money back. Absolutely not. Thank you for that. I didn't know that. And if this is true, by the way, if this is true, I will say that makes more sense. Because it was underwhelming. I was very disappointed because we already know Harry Styles is not a vocalist. So I was sitting there thinking, ooh. It's wild that Sam Smith said he didn't like Michael Jackson, but he's trying to be over the top like Michael. I didn't know he said he didn't like Michael Jackson.
But secondly, Michael didn't have to put on costumes to do that. What are you talking about?
Girl, the fact that Sam shaded MJ's artistry, girl, absolutely not.
That's not being over the top. Michael wasn't.
So, yeah, I didn't know that, Gia. But Sam Smith can sing. I won't take that from him. All right.
Wait. I want to ask you. Wait, do you think Michael Jackson is over the top? Because I wouldn't describe him like that. Like what Sam Smith doing is tacky. If you want to say over the top, then I think Lady Gaga or Madonna. Say Michael Jackson had his own theme. He had his own style. That was Michael Jackson's style. He was pretty consistent, I felt. So I don't see how he thought it was over the top.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I would never even invest in a critique about over the top from like a Sam Smith. You know what I mean? Like he's trying so hard to be seen, it's like kind of ridiculous at this point. Michael Jackson is one of the greatest performer of all time. Like Sam Smith don't have room to critique. Like not at all. After that foolish of a performance that he did, like no. Like look at you and then look at Michael Jackson. Like no.
I mean, look at him and look at Lil Nas X. If they're talking about performance wise.
Yeah, the thing is, the issue I have fundamentally is this man can sing and he's wasting his talent trying to cater to a fast-paced audience that really don't care about how quickly you can put out a trash song. And that don't make sense. The Grammys are boring. Beyonce doesn't need to attend anymore. They clearly do not value quality bodies of work. Yeah, period.
I agree. I definitely agree.
I don't know why she was there. I was actually very annoyed that she even showed up. If I were her, I would have stayed home and you sent that award. You're the most nominated, you won the most. Like, period. And I was there for none of them. you can
put them in the mail.
You can drop them off. I'll send my address.
I'll send my PO box. No, I don't like that.
Everybody says they love singers and they love talent until the talent puts out music and then they go listen to the TikTok song. No, you can do both. You can make good music. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, because what's her name? Jasmine Sullivan is one of the best vocalists out, that I'm just gonna buy her album. No, she gotta put in work. Your album needs to be good. And that last album was great. So period.
You remember when Sam Smith, when Sam Smith, you saw the music video? Because I like the song Unholy. I like it. And it's nice. But not saying it's like particularly vocal, but it's catchy. Another song that like didn't have like a great music video or was like not performed really well and made it like, they kind of like devalued it. The last time this happened was with SZA when she did The Weeknd, and she came out with her music video twirling in a parking lot for 42 times.
Look, I don't know why SZA had Solange directed that video. That is the first time that I've ever seen that's the first time I've ever seen a music video tanked a song. I was like, girl, why are you swinging around in that parking lot? How many times are you gonna turn? I'm dizzy for you.
You know what? Solange said, do that turn. Oh, I like that turn right there. Let's loop it.
No, she was like, how many times should I turn? Solange was like, yes. I was so mad. I'm ready to see cheating happening and all kinds of cheating.
Right.
Like, your man is my man. I was like, period. I turned on the TV and I saw SZA just turning around in the parking lot.
Girl's dizzy.
And then she was at a balcony turning around. You're not gonna stop. All right, girl. You're just not gonna stop turning.
I was like, oh no, not on the balcony too, Jesus. Yeah.
Solange is absolutely wrong.
She's wrong
for that. Solange was absolutely wrong for that video. She knew what she did. I've tried 3 times to say everyone should watch Eyes Wide Shut. It's a depiction of how the elite live. I tried to send a full message about how they delete people and make it look like accident. Whitney, the man who wrote it, passed before it was released. I will watch it, but I will say that I'm not big on conspiracies. Someone used their membership to send a message and it disappeared. I apologize. I usually try to read those. But Giggles, I will definitely try to watch that. I hope you meant to send $50 with this message. I feel terrible, so I will now definitely watch. Thank you so much. But yeah, no, that SZA video, I was so mad. Not just at SZA, but at Solange.
I was mad at both of them because, yeah, like you said, I want to see like, okay, one girl leaving the house and then another girl pull up, or maybe he's leaving one girl house and then he pulling up somewhere else on the weekend, and they taking her out to the mall or somewhere, or on Sunset Boulevard or something, shopping and stuff, and then take her home, then go back to his 9 to 5 and meet someone. That's what I wanted. I wanted to see something. They give us a story, you know what I mean? But it wasn't. It was nothing of the sort.
You got SZA turning around. Period.
Right. And so with Unholy, when that came out, and I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna be a body shop. Maybe it's going to be. Oh, so if anyone saw that that show called Hollywood, was it on Netflix? Do you remember that, Themis?
Mm-hmm.
Of Hollywood. And so like people would drive up to the gas station, and then the people who would pump the gas back in like the 1950s, I think, people would pump the gas, and then, or 50s or 60s, they pumped the gas, and those were the guys who pumped the gas were escorts. So they would pump the gas, and then they would get in. What? Oh.
No, go ahead. I'm just giving you a backtrack.
Why?
Your storyline.
What was my storyline sad? Oh. Well, like it. What is distracting?
Okay.
I can't think. So they they could have did that where they had escorts come to the body shop and and did like sexual things or whatever, but they didn't do that. They just had a little, I don't even know what they call it, some kind of little weird party above the body shop, and I was like, okay, well, that's not. It wasn't great. It could have been better. I was really upset about it.
Period. So you had a whole concept.
I did. I sure did.
Period. They should have hired you. So, someone sent another membership chat. I am a Beyonce fan. However, to be honest, B isn't particularly original. She's taken ideas, concept, choreo from lesser-known artists. People who do this aren't Beyonce fans because y'all be playing too much. Beyonce, people are mad because Beyonce will cite a bunch of people on her tracks, and someone said Money is an artist. But I do think people borrow a lot. I think Black is King was really original. B-Day was that girl. I don't know. I really like, the thing is, I'm not saying I like Beyonce because she is the best vocalist. She is an amazing vocalist. The best dancer, she's an amazing dancer. I just like the effort.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that she puts in a ton of work. Watching her Baychella behind the scenes, I felt like I wasn't doing enough in my life. Like it just felt like this person, like she naturally has talent, but she's like willing to push herself. And instead of just standing there looking like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Let me just be clear. I really, really like Taylor Swift now. Hear me out. I don't like her voice. I don't like her songs. I like her videos. I think her videos are conceptually really good. But I like her as a businesswoman. That woman is owning her masters come hell or high water. This woman is re-recording her original videos because someone on her team, maybe not her, but her legal team and her business team is like unmatched. And she's about to sit there and girl boss it up to own everything she has. I think that is good. Taylor Swift's career, like obviously she benefits from the system, white supremacy, all of that, blah, blah, blah. But I do admire someone who is like, you know what? Let me get a team together to own my things. And she is owning the things. She's releasing videos, she's releasing stories, she is re-recording everything so she can own the masters, even if she doesn't own the first songs because they're not willing to sell it back to her. Like, I admire smart people, and I think Karen Swift is really thoughtful, and I appreciate her thoughtfulness. I like hard workers, and Beyonce is a hard worker. I can appreciate that. I also like cool people, and Rihanna is just cool, so it is what it is. So someone said not Karen Swift.
Karen Swifty.
Look, I Taylor Swift grew on me. She grew on me because initially I saw her and I thought she looked like the slave master's daughter, but I like what Taylor Swift tries to represent. I also like what Harry Styles try to represent. It's just like they're not. I like talent, and they don't have it. Taylor Swift is a good writer. I don't know what Harry Styles brings to the table.
I feel like one more year and he's going to lose the boyish appeal.
Yeah, someone said Rihanna is an out-of-the-box thinker. I mean, she is thinking.
Look, Fenty out of the box.
Taylor writes well. I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna give Taylor her writing credit. Like you can't. I'm not gonna take beautiful gowns away from Taylor.
Beautiful gowns.
Look, I'm not gonna take that away from Taylor Swift, but Taylor is gonna Taylor, and I'm here for Taylor doing Taylor. All right. That was the Grammys. I hope we had a relaxing time discussing nothing. The girls, is that what we say? The girls didn't give us much. Someone said, word on the street is Rihanna and some other girls have taken so long with their album because SZA kept all the music. Well, we know Riri is not a writer. Riri's not a writer. Riri's not really a singer. Riri is just that girl. It is what it is.
She's just it factor.
Riri is scavenging now for music. So leave her alone so we can... Themis, I will not forgive this. I will not forgive this night. No. Beyonce works hard because she's not as naturally good as other artists. She is amazing, but I'd rather see Kelly in her place because she is naturally good. Kelly's not naturally good. So here's what. I used to love Kelly. I still do. I think Kelly is the most beautiful woman on earth. One of, if not the. I think Kelly is really talented. The issue I have with Kelly, and I had to check myself on this. Kelly's inconsistency is very annoying. She is inconsistent musically, that is in terms of putting out music. She's also inconsistent vocally. The issue I'm having with Kelly, and that's part of probably colorism. It's part of like people around her not investing in her, so she never actually developed her talent. It could be that she's spread too thin. She's a judge here, a judge there, a social media personality. She's an it girl. She's a movie. Like it's a lot, right? But Kelly was my number one favorite, and I assumed, given the chance to shine, that she would. But it was inconsistent performance after inconsistent performance. And it's not like, oh, she didn't get good songs. No, that song, what's it? Something got the same size hands as Marilyn Monroe, blah, blah, blah. Stolen. The song is called Stolen. After she did Stolen, I was like, I see where she's going. She did a song with Nelly. I was like, period. When Motivation dropped, I was like, double period. She's never performed these songs like well on like a massive scale. She's gotten opportunities to perform at like huge shows, and I'm always underwhelmed. That is a you problem. Like, you have to put in the work. And I don't think, I think Kelly's like, I'm beautiful, I am great, I was in Destiny's Child, I have royalty checks coming, I don't need to do much more. And I don't think Kelly wants to push herself. And she shouldn't have to. Kelly's just living life and loving it. And period. She dropped Kisses Down Low, and I was like, okay, girl, I don't know where this is going, but do you? No, Kelly is naturally gifted. Beyonce is naturally gifted. Kelly did not work on hers. I don't know why. Beyonce did. It is that simple for me. I like Kelly. Kelly said, I'm just going to live the soft life and y'all going to be mad. And that's fine. Like, I have come to respect, because there's a part of me that wanted Kelly to push and be that girl. And Kelly's like, girl, I just want to live a Black girl luxury life. What do you mean?
Like, you know what? Is Kelly married?
Yeah.
Oh.
She comes from old money too. I'm not. Yeah. Kelly. Well, I don't know if you're talking about Kelly, because Kelly, I don't remember where that was. But I'm crying, Themis, lady, you're reaching. No, anywho, Beyonce is gifted. Whether or not she's using her gift to praise God is a separate story. As a new Christian, I would much rather more of when Jesus say yes, but it is.
So you want a little more Michelle?
No. I love Michelle though. I love Michelle for who Michelle is, and we're gonna keep Michelle out of our. We're gonna keep Michelle out of our mouth. If we don't have anything good to say about Michelle, we're not gonna say it. I like Michelle. I like Michelle was the Michelle was the first woman that started the cursive singing, and y'all play too much in Michelle's face. Y'all like all these scissors and all these people with these weird voices. Michelle started that. Michelle was the first cursive singer, and she needs respect. Y'all gonna give her respect.
On what song?
She was.
Okay.
So actually, we need to figure out who the next Supreme is gonna be, because Beyonce might actually retire soon, and we need to come together and figure out who the next Supreme is gonna be. It's not gonna be Chloe.
Is Doja? Is Doja in that?
Doja has a long way to go, but yes, I think Doja has potential.
She can, she rapping and singing. I think she has. Yeah, the potential.
I mean, I would say Doja is the next Nicki, not Beyonce, but I get.
Go ahead.
No, go.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I don't think we've I don't think we've gotten her fleshed out. I don't think we've gotten her singing fleshed out. I think she likes to be silly, and that's why she's more rapping.
Giving me. Someone said Michelle the Bridge Williams. I
The Bridge. Oh my God!
You really were fighting about plastic off it. Thank you. Let me look on the Discord, because y'all not going to sit here and pretend like y'all didn't try to pretend like you didn't fight. Try to fight me on plastic off the sofa.
Plastic off the banister, right?
Wait, oh, you said you sent it to me. I can't. Oh, here we go. Oh, I thought you sent the no. All right, I can't pull it up. I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened. I would have loved to play it and just remind you guys that before any of y'all wanted plastic off the sofa, I did. Michelle is great. Is the best backup you'll ever see. She's the main girl. Y'all play too much. Michelle is the main girl. Doja has the potential, but Beyonce status, nah. She has a lot of work. I think she has a lot of work. I love Thames. I think Thames is good, but she is not. I like Thames for what Thames is and what Thames provide, and I need Thames to be that girl separately, not the Beyonce lane though. What happened to Chloe? I refuse to talk about Chloe in a negative light publicly.
Publicly.
Yeah, no, I refuse to. I don't like tryhards. I like people who work hard. Whatever. Beyonce will likely hand her crown to Blue. Period.
Blue is a whole businesswoman. She collecting royalties right now.
Kelly music is terrible. I agree with that. No, not y'all just dragging. We're trying to be kind to Kelly. All right. I feel like the music. I think that the music. Oh, Chloe's sister Holly apparently, hopefully broke. I mean, not hopefully, but broke up. Holly broke up with her boyfriend. Oh, that's so sad. That man had that poor girl hanging out with Blueface and Krishan. Absolutely not. I don't feel bad. I'm glad. I hope that it's done. Let me not even pretend like I care. I hope it's done. So we are going to move into the next segment, which is I don't know if you want to stay for this. You can. I'm going to review a video by Chrissie. I don't know if you know who Chrissie is. She interviewed a white guy named Zach. But for now, we're going to call him white. No, I'm not going to call him white guy. I'm going to call him Zach. I think they had actually, I didn't watch the full interview. I'm going to watch it now. I think they had a lovely conversation from what I've seen, but I didn't see the end. Now, he was talking about divestors, and Cynthia G also interviewed Brian, and they were talking about the manosphere. So I think that might affect the tone, because I actually thought maybe I won't watch this because there's nothing from a scandal perspective that I saw, but I only watched half of it. I thought they were generally respectful to each other. I didn't really see any issues. So this might get boring, which is a good thing. When you're watching things and you're reviewing it and you have nothing to say, that's good. So I don't know. Like, the conversation seemed good. The conversation seemed good. Do you want me to email it to you? Oh, the time has passed, but I would have. Thank you. Wake up, makeup slate. I logged out of the I tried to click into the Discord on the computer and it just shut down. And I don't want to fight with technology because I will lose.
Oh, can I say something before I go?
Yep.
Someone, I think Pamela T, she said Doja is also a performer, a dancer, and a singer. I'm sorry, a performer, a dancer, a singer, and a rapper. Most female artists can only do one of those. And I just wanted to say that putting Doja's name in the hat, because I think versatility is what kept Beyonce in the game for so long, that she could do different styles. She could also dance, and she also put her hands in production. And then she made a whole feature film in Lemonade and Black is King. So yeah, I'm gonna put Doja in the hat for that.
Well, we will make a live one day talking about the next Supreme.
All right. See y'all later.
So I'm assuming you're leaving. All
right. Bye.
Bye. Timothy thought, I think that guy is here. What guy? You mean the guy who she interviewed? Everyone said, but oh, she's gone. But I was about to tell Money. Thanks for chilling with us, Money. Not y'all like Money finally now. The energy was off in the beginning, but it picked up later. So first of all, please drop a 1 if you are a divestor in this chat. Because I drop a 1 if you're a divestor. I would like a divestor to come up. I would actually like a divestor to come up. The reason is because you are the topic of conversation, and this is true. Anytime I'm talking about anyone, someone said divestors do not frequent your channel at Democento. I mean, I see ones. All right, I don't know what's happening. So if you're a divestor and you would like to come up, let me know. Someone said the guy is here. I'm assuming it's the guy who did this interview. If you are also here, you can come up. Chrissie, I don't think Chrissie goes on other people's channel, but obviously if you're here, you can come up. Anytime I'm talking about someone, they always have the right to come up. That is a standard. I keep that. It is what it is. All right, let's get into the video. Please clearly define divestor. Let's stop right here for this. Let's pause for the cause for this. So initially, I thought divestor meant sort of leaving everything that didn't serve you. I didn't know it had a racial element. Then swirling became a part of the conversation, and it was made clear to me that swirling was not divesting. And then there was another approach where it's like, we do not date Black men. So the divester was like divesting particularly from Black men. I will say the fact that every single time the conversation of divestment comes up, I get a bunch of emails that are contradictory. So for this, whichever divestor comes up, I will have them define it, and I will have them define it. That's all I have to say. Because, like, I don't know. And everyone who is trying to correct me is doing so, I think, in good faith, but they're doing so differently from what the other person said before them. So it's really strange. So swirling is dating. Divesting, I'm assuming here, is not dating Black men. There's another definition that's not, it's not that it's not dating Black men, it's not dating or being around or involving yourself with anything that wastes your energy or time, leaving things that do not serve you and people that do not serve you. That definition does not mean you're leaving Black men, it just means the people who don't serve you, you leave them. So that's also a different definition. Again, you guys can define it how you want. The people who Chrissie was actually discussing with Zach do not come over here. I don't know, uppity. They might not. Like, I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know. I am team choose the best man for the job. Is that the same or different? Look, if you describe yourself as divestor, you can come and define it. It is what it is. All right, let's finally start the video. Thank you, Afro Butterfly.
The screen name, Rampaging Chipmunk. His real name is Zach. And we're doing this video because recently he left a comment under one of my live streams. And here is the comment.
Like, literally, Chrissie was just in a battle with them just before she did the video with Zach. Like, I'm trying to help at Themis and Thoth. Someone said, Natalie says, FKA Twigs for next It Girl, maybe. I don't understand. Are you saying that I shouldn't? I'm going to send the link to Uppity. You knew that I was going to do this live stream. If you're saying don't do the live stream, I don't understand, like, why. So I'm gonna just send you the link because I can't keep up with your chat. Please come. Please. I just sent you the link, Uppity. Can you come explain why I shouldn't? I just sent. I like FKA Twigs, by the way. I think she has one of the most beautiful voices. Themis, you may drag on that one. Not to your email, to the Instagram. I just sent it to your Instagram. Not me getting involved in people's business when I literally just thought this was like a random conversation. Themis, how do we join the panel? I haven't opened the panel yet. I'm sending out the link to I just sent out the link to Uppity. My issue is, and I don't understand, because like I literally just thought this was like a good conversation, and It's fine. By the way, if you guys don't want to be here, not yell, but like it's gonna take a while because I just want to understand what Uppity is trying to tell me, because I would hate to like drive myself under a bus. I'm coming. Tina Shea can't sing and very forgettable. I like Tina Shea, but yeah, I don't think she is. I don't think she's a singer, but she's a great dancer. It's a great conversation. I was not saying don't have it. You were asking for divester. I said you don't have them. Oh, I don't.
You see on the screen, and he commented under a live stream where I briefly responded to some of the extreme divestors about their take on Chef Way. And they responded saying that Rampaging Chipmunk was not a real person and that I was pretending to be him and that I was speaking for white men. So I decided to bring him on so I can prove that he is a real person. And I figured, hey, well, since I'm going to have him on here, I should also ask him a couple of questions about his views on the space. So, Zach, thank you so much for being here and putting the rumors to rest and giving me some of your time. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. I just can't believe that they thought that I was like an alt account of yours, because like just click on my account. It says like I think it should say like joined 2012. So like, okay, you've had 11 years running alternate account that like occasionally pops up in your comments that you're using. Like it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. And the thing is, I've seen you before in one of my live streams. Weren't you just in a Chrissie After Dark not too long ago?
Yeah, I've actually basically, and this might actually help to add a little bit of context too, is like how I actually stumbled across your channel and the kind of greater BWE space as a whole. So it started back in like honestly during lockdown in 2020. Okay. So the YouTube algorithm, you know, it can be a little bit, it can behave in some strange ways sometimes. So, but basically what it was it was a bit of a string of like viewers.
Hey, Uppity. You're muted.
Hey, I didn't want to talk over the audio. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna close you out really quick in the background. All right, so what I was saying to you, you said, if there are any divestors, please come up. I said, Themis, you don't have any. And you were like, well, they might be over here. And I was trying to explain to you that people who follow the content creators like Divested Zealot, Miss Archduchess, Lexus Exodus, they're not coming over here. They're not here. Now, there are people who might view their channels like, oh, haha, this is funny. Tyrannosaurus Rex, they're over here. But the actual divestors, they're not here because those extreme divestors have 0% to do with Black men, gay or straight. So you have a level of divestors where, you know, there are people with their different understanding. But if you just heard what Chrissie just said at the beginning of the video when she's talking to Zach, she said extreme divestors. Those are the ones she's talking about.
First, I don't like the name dropping, but what do you mean? What does extreme divestor mean?
The extreme divestors, they're the people who are just like, all right, I'm going to swirl. And I'm going to date Black men, or I'm not going to date Black men. And some of those are just swirlers. Wait. Extreme divestors have nothing to do with Blackistan. They have nothing to do with Black men at all.
Wait, you're just talking, and I'm trying to find out, what does extreme divestor mean? I don't understand that.
So Chrissie said in the conversation she was having with Zach.
I heard her. That's why I'm asking what extreme divestors mean.
They have nothing to do with Black men at all. That's what extreme divestor means.
I thought that was one definition of divestor.
That's what she meant by extreme. And she had just gotten into it over Clubhouse and whatever else just moments before she made this video. Like if you go to her channel now, you can see there was a video where she's addressing.
Are they the ones who call black male names?
The nakers, the bullet bags, yes.
All right, so that seem to be those people who have an investment in black men. I feel like extreme divestmenters would be the opposite, where they won't even address. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't understand. Like,
I mean, I'm not.
If you're trying to divest, you wouldn't be attacking the. Anyway, let me not get into psychoanalyzing, but it doesn't make sense.
I know what Themis. I get that it doesn't make sense, but I'm telling you, like I've been dragged on a divester panel, and I'm not a divester, and I have been like I have a ton of videos on my channel about divesting divestors. I was once divester adjacent as they were kind of making their way out of here or whatever in the past few years. But what I'm trying to tell you, and that's why I had to name drop, because I'm with you. I wouldn't normally name drop, but I'm name dropping you archetypes. So the women who are hardcore on the channels that I just named, Themis, they want nothing to do with you.
No, I
nothing. They don't come over here.
Why are you keep repeating that? I don't hear.
Why is this hard? No, I said that because you said if there are any in the chat, why don't you come up, because we're talking about you? And I was like, you don't have any in the chat. That was literally the conversation.
Yeah, and that's fine. If I don't have any, I feel like if there are any, you can come up. If they are here and they want to, then they could. If they are not here, then the if qualifies the request. Like, I don't.
Themis, I'm not here to question your attorney logic. All I'm trying to say is that just the name extreme divester, what Chrissie was talking about, it's built into the name extreme. Because they're extreme, part of their extremeness is that they don't want anything to do with you.
Okay.
Because you're a black male, so they don't come over here. You would have to send an invitation or an invite, but I've never seen them in the chat. There are many names, many chats that I've been to. I've never seen them in your chat. Even if they're in your clouds, I've never seen them in your chat. And so I'm saying, if you want to have I don't know what's with the faces. I don't know but literally extreme divestors don't come over here. Maybe a sovereign women, they come over here. Swirlers, they come over here. Pro Black Love, they come over here. Women who are on the cusp of divesting, whatever, they come over here. Moderate divestors, they come over here. Chrissie said extreme divester. I'm telling you, they don't come over here. The people who
fine.
I know that it's fine, but the conversation was, you were in the chat like, oh, if we have any, and I was like, you don't have any. That's it. And you were like, oh, well, are you trying to tell me not to have the conversation? And I'm just like, nah, have the conversation. It's a great conversation. I'm just saying you don't have a representative here because it's part of the extremeness. And that's what Chrissie was referring to. And the reason I had to name drop is because I was telling you the population of divestors Chrissie was talking about with Zach. She wasn't talking about all of them. Was talking about extreme divestors, how you're a bullet bag and how your dick is a shit log. That's them. That's what they say.
I'm going to end this conversation because I don't understand why. Like, it feels like you're like, you need to know that they're not here. And I'm like, it's fine if they're not. I said, if there are any, you can come out.
It's not that you don't. It's not that you need to know that they're not here. It's that while I was in the chat, you were like, oh, you're telling me not to have the conversation. And I'm like, girl, have the conversation. It's a great one to have. But like, you were interpreting what I was doing as something totally opposite. So I came up here to let you know this is what I was saying. I'm not saying don't have the conversation. I'm not a divester. I have at least a dozen videos on my channel about divestors. Have the conversation. I have the conversation as well. You simply asked if there are any come up, and I was like, you don't have any of the extreme sort, and you don't. You've never seen Divested Zealot over here. You've never seen Miss Archduchess over here. You've never seen Lexus Exodus over here.
So are those the only extreme divestors?
I'm giving you archetypes. They're not the only ones. I'm just giving you archetypes of people who have been all around this area. I personally, I think I don't know, I like them. I think they're great women, but because we have a difference of opinion on those things, like they push very hard on literally, they're like divest or die.
So the issue that I have now is after you name the names, it feels like I'm going into this with knowledge of who, I don't know these people, by the way, but it feels like I'm now going into this with names out there. So now I'm like, this is who Chrissie is talking about when I don't know that.
Chrissie, anybody in the chat, if you guys can help Themis out, those of you who watch Chrissie, those of you who are subscribed to Chrissie, she literally just got into it with Divested Zealot, and she had pictures of Divested Zealot's tea-sipping avatar, and that's what led to the conversation with Zach.
You're name dropping, and it's like really weird to like experience this because it's like I definitely didn't say, are there any extreme divestors? In fact, I very specifically said, are there any divestors? And when you come up here, you can define divestment for yourself. And we were going to use this to talk about divestment generally. With the names out there now, I am in a very awkward position where I am going forward. If I go forward with this, which I guess I won't, but if I go forward with this, I would be doing so with the knowledge that these are the people. When initially I would go
Here's the
forward.
deal. They're not the people, Themis. The only person that Chrissie got into it that I'm aware of is Divested Zealot. So Lexus Exodus, very sweet, lovely married woman, has a beautiful black son. They didn't get into it. Miss Archduchess, I haven't heard anything about her or her getting into it with anybody. She only got into it with Divested Zealot, and it's all over her channel. And she was like, yeah, I'm going to call you out. Yeah, I'm going to call you guys by your names. And usually Chrissie doesn't do that. And so all I'm saying to you is that you don't have any of the ilk of women that Chrissie was referring to over here, because part of their extremism is that they avoid you by way of your gender and your color.
You keep repeating that, and I keep saying I don't know why you keep repeating that. Like, I get that they don't like black men, and I'm a black man. Like, this is fine. We can move on because, like, the issue, like, it's interesting that, like, I mean, and it's unfair to you because I don't think no one knows what I'm doing with this conversation. But I was just literally going to review the conversation and have divestors give their perspective. And if the gentleman, they said he was here, from what I've seen, unless something else happened in the latter half, he didn't say anything terrible, and Chrissie didn't say anything terrible, and like I didn't see any issue. So I was just going to have divestors come up and say, oh, I see this is the issue. You, Themis, didn't see because that, or whatever. So that's kind of like what I was planning to do.
Okay, Chipmunk is here. I don't know if you want to have him up, but Chipmunk is actually Zach.
I don't know who Chipmunk is.
Chipmunk is actually Zach. They're saying in the chat that he's here. So if he's here, you might want to have him up.
Yeah. I don't, by the way, when my face contorts, like, it's probably because I'm trying to understand. So, like, I don't think you meant harm. I don't take any disrespect. I take, it is circumspect that you keep like you are like, I need you to know that they don't like you and don't come over here. Like, I know that. But
that's not
other
really...
than that, I don't have an issue. I think you came in good faith. I appreciate the warning, and it's the respect of you that
it wasn't a warning at all, and it wasn't a hey, by the way, they don't like you. It was more like you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not looking for you to seek my permission or whatever to have a conversation, and I wasn't looking for, like, you said something like, oh, I was going to have this conversation. Why are you talking to me like I shouldn't have this conversation? I'm like, Themis, you should have the conversation. I'm just saying the people you said you wanted to talk to are not here. you would have to send some kind of an invitation. And I don't know who is saying that I'm divested in the chat, because Lord have mercy, I'm a widow of a Black man. That has zero to do with extreme divesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you know how to define divestment?
I have a lot of videos on divestment, but in a short way, the divestors are women who are just kind of done with Black men and Blackistan as it is. So when I'm referring to Blackistan, this is something that the content creators that I mentioned, this is something that they mention. So basically, Black men, their issues, and the women who perpetuate their issues. So all these words that we can't see on your channel, they're done with all of those women and all of those archetypes, and they have divorced themselves from that community. And the extreme divestors actually rejoice in things like police brutality. And there have been conversations on their panels where they're like, I get off on seeing these white police officers do what they're doing to Black men. And there are thousands of them. Like the way that I got into it when I got dragged on one of their panels, it was because I said, I think you guys should put some of these things behind a paywall, because I was watching teenage Black boys get influenced by it and their hearts were broken. And I'm just like, you might have an effect on people where you're radicalizing them. And I got my ass dragged. And I'm just like, I didn't mean you any harm. I think that you guys have made lots of headway. And the conversation with the manosphere, because of their extremism, they're the ones who got the manosphere to kind of like shape the hell up. It's the same thing with another content creator, where because she goes so hard, she's gotten these people to shape up to some degree. And so I'm just like, look, you guys, there's room for everybody here. And I think that what you do is important, but because it's so vulgar and so vile and so harsh, I wish you would put it behind a paywall so the 13, 14, 16-year-old Black boy who hears this is not affected by this. Because again, it's extreme. So a regular divester, I wouldn't have that conversation with, because a regular divester would probably be divesting in silence or just, XYZ, but she doesn't talk like that. She doesn't call the African-American penis a shit log, for example.
So I can continue this. All the names that you call, I don't remember any of them. I don't watch any of them. So I don't know. I am not speaking to any of these people specifically. I may or may not have watched them, but I don't remember the names, so I don't watch.
Okay, so can I tell you where my disconnect was?
Oh, all right, go ahead.
So you said that you're not speaking to any of these people specifically, and you're using Chrissie's video. And that's where my disconnect happened, because I thought, because Chrissie says at the top of the video, if you play it over for the audience, extreme divestors. You did not say extreme divester, just to be clear, I heard you. Okay. But Chrissie says extreme, and I'm just like, that's not who's going to be over here.
Do you dislike Chrissie?
Oh, I love Chrissie. I'm always over there. Yeah, Chrissie is bae. I mean, Chrissie has inspired. I mean, Chrissie's a trailblazer. She's the one who inspired correctional promotion for the dark-skinned Black women. Literally, some of the rhetoric, I mean, obviously there's a Rashida Strober, who is a dark-skinned women's activist, but I mean, I've been around here for about 12 years, so I've seen the people who have laid out rhetoric and who have laid out speaking points, and a lot of what BWE people are saying today, Chrissie was the first. Crystalline was the first, Cynthia was the first. So these people deserve to be put in a specific place, and yeah, I've never had an issue with Chrissie. Real as hell.
So you're saying you are not telling me to not move forward. It's fine to move forward. Because I wasn't thinking about those women. And my framing will not be about them because I don't know their content enough to critique them specifically.
Okay. Absolutely move forward. There was never any pushback about moving forward, and that's why I came up here a little defensive. It was a misunderstanding on your part.
Cool. Not you think it was a misunderstanding on my part.
It absolutely was, because there was never any don't do it from me. Like you said earlier, I knew that you were going to have this conversation, and I was excited for it. It was this. Yeah, go ahead.
What's a moderate divester? Don't know. I just thought it was one thing, but apparently it's not. When Chrissie said extreme, she didn't mean the super and actual divested population of Black women. She meant the ones who are harassing other creators, doxing, using sluts, etc. And the proof was in the live stream she did, Brown Barbie
Thank
said.
you, Brown Barbie, for $20. That is all I have been trying to say. You put that so concisely. That's all I was trying to say. And those people aren't here. Conjure for $4.99. Go ahead.
I mean, it feels like I don't want to get back into it, but like it does feel like they would be watching, and not me, but people, Black people generally, if they get off, quote unquote, on the demise or attacking Black people, you would have to engage to some extent, even to watch. She sounds like the representative for people, but she is here. The attitude is awful. Why do you keep repeating yourself in the tone is not it? It's okay. It's fine.
The tone is the
I'm
tone.
okay.
Themis knows me. Themis has spoken to me here and other places. We have mod meetings and whatnot. He knows what my tone is, but I'm not a divester. I can't be. I'm the widow of a Black man. As far as extreme divesting goes, I don't qualify, lady. Thanks for the $4.99.
Oh, this was to prove her statement that Chipmunk is a real person, Zach, not someone she paid or fake account she made. It's honestly not that deep, so the back and forth is a bit strange. Well, Brown Bobby, that's kind of like how I understood it. This was a comment, blah, 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 and I wanted him to review it. And I thought about Sinji interviewing Brian, but they centered the manosphere. So when Chrissie interviewed Zach and they centered the divester, I was like, oh, but the thing is, I've never actually reviewed the Brian video. I don't know why I haven't, but I probably because I have not asked Sinji, and when I interview people's videos that I know, I tend to try to ask them before I just up and do it.
So I want you to get what Brown Barbie was saying. Was that her name, Brown Barbie? Because the beef that I just told you about, they were accusing her of being Zach. They were saying Chrissie is Zach, the chipmunk guy.
Yeah.
So there was a beef behind that, and then he came on to prove they're two different people.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I didn't know that there was more to it than that.
There's a history between a lot of these BWE content creators, unfortunately.
Yeah. Uppity loves Themis. She isn't trying to be mean. I don't think she was being mean, but Themis, please move on. I think that she's saying when she says extreme, it's the slurs, dox people, and attack people. She's getting personal right now. Yeah, I wish we hadn't said any names. Thank you, Nal, as well. And I am going to move on. Let's continue.
Who watch this channel also watch this channel. So that led me from like vegan YouTube to what I think is generally called commentary YouTube, which is basically just people doing commentary about YouTube itself, big YouTubers, some social commentary or whatever. And obviously some creators within that space are Black. And so all it took was me watching 2 or 3 of their videos, and suddenly you pop up in my recommended feed on YouTube. And then after watching a couple of your videos, suddenly it starts giving me like basically everybody else in the BWE space too. So that's kind of how I stumbled across this sector of YouTube. And so basically I kind of binged your channel over the course of like April and May of 2020. So I was putting together furniture. I needed something to listen to, and your content was both very interesting and very educational. You have really educated me about a lot of stuff that like I had never heard the term colorism before. Like I had like a vague knowledge of it. Like I seem to recall like reading like the one instance that comes to mind was like, I'm pretty sure I read a news story once about one of those story that you did a video on a long time ago. It was about like, I think it was an employee at Hollister got, she said she was either fired or didn't get a job because her skin was too dark or something like that. That hit mainstream news, I think, because I seem to have some vague recollection of that. But like aside from like that, I don't recall ever hearing the term colorism before. So it was like very illuminating. Like I didn't understand or have any previous knowledge about like the whole skin tone hierarchy within the Black community or anything like that. It was very
One of the beautiful things about this channel is we practice communication even when we disagree, even when tones are off, still showing respect. Thank you. I hope that we continue, and I like that about us. Extreme divestment isn't fruitcake gang, period.
Period at all. And I just responded to her. One of the things that I wanted to say to that last comment, listen, there are a lot of big content creators who are surrounded by yes men. And that is where the F they went wrong, because they didn't have anybody to look at them and say, oh, by the way, this is this and that is that. They didn't have anybody to face them. They had people who shrunk in the face of their celebrity, shrunk in the face of their influence and their popularity. And they're just like, yes, men, whatever you want to say. I don't practice that with Themis, and I don't practice that with anybody that I care about. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. So my attitude is my attitude, but go ahead.
Themis, I would edit this live since names were dropped, remove that segment, and then publish it once it's over. So I hate editing live. As a matter of fact, I remove them completely. I am unable to watch a live stream without the comments. My comment section is kind of the best part about my live streams, honestly. And I cannot rewatch a live stream without the comments. So I will think about it. I am moving on. No, saying that I don't know these people. I'm not attempting to include these people in the conversation. I respect everyone. And that's the best I can do. If I get dragged across these YouTube streets, I get dragged across these YouTube streets. Apparently, I've been getting dragged. I don't watch, so it is what it is.
Very new to me. It was sad. It's one of those things like, I'm very glad that I know what I know now from listening to your content.
So my question to you is, realistically, how many white people do you think hear these conversations? I'm just curious.
More than a few, and given how easily the algorithm, like, it didn't take very much for the algorithm to kind of shoot me off over in your direction. What I can say is that it isn't hard to stumble across this space. I'll just put it that way.
Looking at this comment, explain this comment, like why you made this comment, and when you hear my commentary, I'm curious to know what differences you hear between me and the extreme divestors.
I think the interesting part of it is how it's kind of the lack of self-awareness, or like the lack of kind of like being able to draw parallels, because they clearly observe like the Black manosphere a lot and the style and tone of their rhetoric. So they know, and because they know that, they also, you would think, would be able to see like the faults in it. They should be able to see like the negative consequences that could arise for them. What they basically do is like just basically make a gender swapped version of like the most extreme parts of the Black manosphere. The use of racial slurs and the very, very callous. It just sounds like the worst parts of the Black manosphere that they hate so much.
You say that you've heard the Black manosphere, use these racial slurs about Black.
All right. I'm gonna end the stream. There are people who are telling me to not continue. There are also people telling me that I should private this live stream. I haven't made any commentary yet, so I am not going to. And it's not because I'm afraid. I'm a bit confused, and I'm also extremely concerned. There is an issue, and I will talk about this issue at some other time when I've thought this through more fully. You can keep it real and be respectful, Nally's World says. Uppity, your attitude may be your attitude, but when it is off-putting, people are less inclined to engage meaningfully. Casey says, thank you for the five. There are white men who support Black women and are to some extent pro-divestment, or are familiar with even the extreme divestment space. I think that's actually quite dangerous, like really, really dangerous. I don't think it is possible, but I don't know. So on that, I can say this is my theory. I don't think it's possible to dislike people based on color and differentiate based on gender. I mean, I think it's possible, but I think it's really unlikely. The person who's going to dislike you based on skin tone isn't I don't think thoughtful enough to do the analysis to separate gender, but one could make the argument that you can look into a community and see who is doing the quote unquote bad things, and dislike them for that thing as opposed to for their skin color. And there can be some kind of distinction there. I think it's extraordinarily dangerous, and in the way that, if you remember, this black guy who had this white lady on his back, he was like walking and he said something to the effect of, "I'm done with you coloreds," or whatever, or "tried with you coloreds." That woman is absolutely abhorrent, because, well, he is also, right? But the fact that she allows him to be there and she is willing to have him say things while she's there, I think says a lot about her respect for herself and also for him. And so anyone who would allow you to speak poorly of a group without, and with the name calling and all of that, and be okay with that and even engage with you in that, I think, I don't know, I wouldn't trust that. And so my archetype for Black women when they date out is typically, what I understand is they date out, but the guys tend to be more culturally sensitive, whereas Black men do not engage in cultural conversation. And so those are the kind of archetypes that generally take place, which is why the relationships tend to be harder to maintain with a Black man and a white woman, for example. But I think it's an interesting conversation. Themis, let me know if you will want to ask me the question you wanted to ask before. I'd be happy to answer if you want to ask me. Oh, I forgot. Oh my God. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna drop the link for Donna Dash. Just for Donna Dash. And this is gonna become a very different stream than what I planned. I think it's larger sociopolitical issues. Some white men are noticing the patterns Black women are talking about and aligning with that. I do agree with that, but most white people who have something to lose will not engage in the name call. Not even white people. Most people with things to lose would not engage in name calling. So it would be a very strange argument to make that they see the issue, which they do. Destiny argued on this behalf, but also they're willing to go the extra step. Because even Destiny is like, oh, both sides, but he doesn't actually mean both sides. But that's like the answer for to be politically correct.
Brown Hillary Banks for $5. Too many of your other subs are out of control in the chat. I support ending the live. They keep harping on a tone that you didn't take issue with.
Thank you. Really wanted to see the video and your perspective. It's fine. It's, to be fair, I can summarize my feeling on the video in that it was a really well done video. It was a respectful interview. I actually enjoyed the parts that I watched, which was the first half. I didn't see the second half. I wanted to watch the second half and react to it live. I did ask Chrissie if I could review, and she said yes. And so I actually really wanted to do it, but I don't think it's necessary. I think the video does what the video does. Is, from what I've seen, there's nothing more that I can add. I think it was done tastefully. It was actually well done. And I mean, that's kind of it. There was nothing more to it. But now I'm contemplating what could happen. Themis,
here yet?
Themis should stop being so easily swayed. I am not easily swayed, but I'm thoughtful, and I think there are things that I am unaware of, and in my inability to see certain things, I will fill in the gap when I can and not throw myself into uncharted territory. I think that's a smart thing to do. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We are his audience. We can comment on your tone, Casey said. Themis is thoughtful and patient. I agree. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Casey. All right.
Can I say something?
Yes, you may. Let me drop the link. This link, when you're saying it, Donna Dash, this link is for you. This is about to change course completely.
I was talking to Donna Dash in the chat because we have some similar practices. So,
Oh God.
yeah. So, good thing the chat is showing their ass because now we can see what type of time I'm really on. Anyhow, what I was saying about Themis hates to read his own super chats. And so when he got quiet, I read his super chat for him because if you've been over here for any amount of time, you know that he doesn't like the sound of his voice reading. So after apologizing, after typing out the apology in the chat, because I didn't mean any harm, I then tried to do something nice. It's really not smart to fight with a mod, especially if you're calling me all these kind of names, because you can get blocked for that.
Yeah, let's oh, did I drop the link? Did I thought this is for Donna Dash.
The Jamaican sister who practices Obeah, only her. We were talking in the chat about Ifa because I think Monye mentioned Ifa, and we were talking about the Satanism with the Illuminati.
Wait, is this wrong? Because I'm Christian, so I don't know. Should I even do this?
You should. You should have all the conversations you've been trying to have.
Well, I'm
You
gonna be
can
trying to. I'm
you
gonna
can
try to.
inquire.
No, I'm gonna try to convert y'all. That's what I'm gonna try. Wake up, make up, slay. Hey,
I grew up Christian. Good luck. I grew up extremely conservative Christian.
Stars above the Elmo forest. The chat is being childish and don't know how to let you handle things. Uppity didn't ruin the vibe. The chat ruined the vibe.
Period. And that's why we've lost.
Wait.
Like how
No,
many mods?
I think just here for the oh, never mind. Sorry. I'm sorry I put you up. Wake up, make up. I should have read that before.
Donna.
Hi, Venus. Hi, Uppity. How are you?
Hey, Donna. Talk to us about this Obeah. I've never heard the name of it.
Wait. Not Demas being a missionary. I have one goal, and this is to convert you all to Christianity. But Demas, we love your voice and how you say period. Period. All right. Before you guys start, thank you. I'm gonna go into the after show and we'll talk. I feel like this is I'm gonna go in the after show.
This is perfect.
Mama?
All right. So growing up, I was told that Obeah is bad. And that's where I'm gonna start. Donna, what is Obeah and is it bad?
Well, Obeah is the practice. It is an African spirituality that, as we know, was brought over from the Guyanans to Jamaica, when they came over as slaves. It is also incorporated with the indigenous practices of the Arawak, with the Maroons when they ran away, and those people mixed and combined. And basically, it is about tapping into, energy, the inner godhood. Now, as for it being evil, that is completely subjective to the user and the caster. So it's not good and it's not evil. It depends on the use. It is just energy, neutral.
All right. So if you practice Obeah, do you believe in a god?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, Obeah, we believe in the Most High. Actually, in Pentecostal church in Jamaica, a lot of the practices that they have do come from Obeah, such as calling it the Most High. That is something that we call the Godhead in African spirituality.
If I can add to that, because I'm from Louisiana, like Beyonce, or my ancestry comes from there, much of hoodoo and voodoo, some of the most powerful spells that you can cast, deal with the Psalms, as in the Psalms of David. Most people who practice any kind of spirituality, we are very familiar with Psalms 91. We're very familiar with Psalms 111, certain things from the Bible, because they've been repeated over such a long period of time, they carry heavy weight when you want to cast or petition or spell.
All right, but we can get on with the subject at hand. Get lucky in Kentucky, LOL. You're probably behind. When you catch up, you're going to be real mad. I am so sorry. Love you all, though. All right, so if both of you are claiming there's biblical grounds for this, isn't it like a bit dishonest in that, like, doesn't the Bible very overtly say do not practice witchcraft? And I can find the verse.
Well, see, that's where it becomes subjective and kind of wonky. Because if you look at the original Bible in Hebrew and the text, like the Dead Sea Scrolls and things around the Bible, there was practice of magic. It's just that if you go back to originally what was said, like in Hebrew to those people, that God does not want them practicing the spiritual traditions of other people because they do have magic. Like Jewish Kabbalah is magic. There is Christian mysticism that is magic. It it's not necessarily that it's evil or it's wrong. It depends on how it's practiced. Like in the Bible, it does say you can use astrology and the stars, just not for the purpose of divination.
Wait,
So,
are you tapping into godly forces or other force or neutral forces?
well, when I say neutral forces, when I say neutral, I mean Obia itself is neutral. Like there's no, it's not necessarily good or evil. It's how you use it. Because,
No,
like,
but where does the magic come from?
oh, you mean like where most people practice? Most people are going.
Are you working with demons or angels? How do you know the difference?
Okay, well, if we're talking about from the Christian sense of those angels and demons, most people, it depends on the practitioner. I personally, I don't work with angels or demons because that's a very Christian thing. But if you're talking about the gods of Obia, such as like a Nancy, a Sasi, those things, they come from they come from God. Basically, the easiest way to like make Christians understand it is they're kind of like archangels. But if you're talking about angelology and demonology, which I think is what you're trying to ask me, that is way more of a complex question because yes, most people are working with angels, but angels are not necessarily godly and like people just because they're angels. There's some angels that will really fuck you up and don't like humans, and there's some demons that they really do like humans and want to help. So it
Wait, what's
depends
the
on
difference between an angel and a demon then?
nothing. They have the same powers. It's just that one is operating out of their not necessarily their service to humanity because people confuse that because angels like God that they like humanity and that's not necessarily
Well,
the same thing.
in my tradition, if I can say, the difference between angels and demons is that angels have no free will. Angels are created from light, and let's say something like the jinn, they'd say that they are created from a smokeless flame of fire, in as much as mankind is supposedly created from dirt, right? So that would be the
Wait, that
difference in
sounds
creation.
contradictory then. You both, so
No,
your tradition.
she and I will contradict one another because we don't have the same traditions.
Yeah.
But in terms of overall, to simplify, if we're talking about like the sorry, I can't speak. The Judeo Christians and demons, they all come from God. But it's just that the demons broke out and have free will. The angels do not and serve God. Now, if you're talking about
Wait.
other systems,
Do you guys see angels as with God, the Most High, and demons as fallen?
Me, no. I don't believe that angels can fall. So I don't have that belief about Satan where he was just. I also have an Islamic background. I studied comparative religion anyhow. Satan was always a jinn as far as Islamic theology is concerned, and their creation is different from the angels. And part of the reason he was able to rebel is because the jinn have free will and as much as human beings do, whereas angels do not. They are created with and for the will of God. So even if they're doing something destructive, like Sodom and Gomorrah, destroying a city, destroying a person, that is from the command of God. That is not just because they copped an attitude. Whereas a
Gotcha.
jinn can be as free as the rest of us.
Donna, are angels fallen, are demons fallen angels, or just separate?
They're not exactly fallen angels. No, they're kind of separate, but the same
Okay, so
entity.
you guys aren't operating on the Bible then.
Not entirely. No, there are aspects like in Jamaican style obia, because it was mixed in with Christianity from slavery and stuff. There are aspects, but no. And if you go look like way back in the unedited versions of the Bible and the lost text around it, angels and demons are not like clean cut. Like, don't think, like, I'll use Archangel Michael as an example. Don't think he's friendly and he all lovey-dovey to people because he serves God. No, if somebody prays to Archangel Michael, let's say, and gives him an offering, and they ask him to do something, when you invoke the names of God, the Godhead for that system, he will strike a person down. Just like the angel of death. The angel of death, like, death is not necessarily seen as a pleasant thing for humans, but it is one of God's angels, and there are different types of angels of death. Just like Lucifer and Satan, when the Bible was edited and like put together, they made the adversary, which Satan's name is not even Satan, but anyways, that's a different story.
Gotcha. I'm late. No, getting lucky in Kentucky. We're just getting started. I'm kidding. Why is it okay for uppity to threaten subs such as disgusting use of power? Yeah, I will speak to the moderators separately about sort of what and when to remove people. But yeah, no, yeah, I will talk to them separately. I don't talk online about subs, moderators power and things like that. Have you already went over the video? We have not. I'm sorry. By the way, if you guys are here for the video, big announcement. Please, please, please. It won't be reviewed, unfortunately. I am so sorry. But you guys can leave. We're just talking about religion, and I'm like actually quite interested in changing people into Christianity now. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing God's work.
You might never succeed with me.
Me, the chat said, who gonna check us, boo? So, no, we're not doing this now, Joe. I appreciate the super chat. All right. So you guys aren't operating from the biblical framework in terms of angels and demons. I do actually want to ask a question. I'm going to ask it before we get to Nali. Is it Nali? How do I pronounce your name?
Yes.
All right, Nali. And how do I pronounce the other person's name?
IJ.
IJ. Ijongo. All right.
So,
Donna, wait. Donna, is magic, like, has anything ever happened supernatural for you?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you speak closer to the mic?
Yes, supernatural things have happened for me, yes.
So can you like do magic? Like, can you grow someone's leg back?
It doesn't exactly work like that. It's not Harry Potter. Like, I'm not regenerating. I wish, child. If that was the case, I'd go give everybody who wasn't born with legs, and everybody who didn't have an arm. I wish.
Wait, so what is the most fantastical thing that you can think about that happened?
The most fantastical thing I've done personally?
Yeah.
When I summoned Aphrodite.
There we go. Conjure.
Yeah, conjuring, invoking.
Aha. Any necromancy?
Wait, no. Wait, what do you mean summon Aphrodite? Is Aphrodite real? Like what?
Well, I mean, even the Bible says this. There are multiple gods or beings out there. Yes. So when you invoke or summon an entity, going for a full-on summon, it's basically where you make a casting circle.
Mm-hmm.
You would get some things that represent the deity, like the statue and stuff. You could try without it, but that opens you up to trickster deities and low vibrational entities.
Mm-hmm.
You would
Wait,
say,
did you see her or did you see her or did you feel her? Like, could someone walk into where you summoned her and see her?
it depends on what gift you have. If you're clairvoyant or what's the one with touch? Not clairsentient. That's when you get universal downloads. But yeah, you could if you have the gift of clairvoyance. Yes, but you can feel when an entity is present. You could feel it. It feels like when another
May I?
human being is in the room. Yes, please.
Am I allowed to talk or not?
No, yes.
Famous?
I don't. Come on.
Because I've been trying to kind of jump in there and support my sister, and I'm just asking if I can get in there or not.
Go ahead.
No. Explain it because I feel like you'll explain the gifts better than I can.
Okay, so as far as conjure is concerned, there's something called going into trance. So there's also a period between asleep and awake where you're not really asleep and you're not really awake. And oftentimes you get a lot of communication from different spirits at that time. And there can be spirits that are interested in you from all over the place just because. So, yes, the Bible talks about, the Bible even mentions unicorns briefly, but it's in there. So different powers, different deities, different the thing with the Bible is that there's no deity worthy of worship except for God. So it's worship that is the real problem. So, and that's in all three Abrahamic faiths.
Oh
So some people,
nope. That's not true. It's not just worship that's the problem. It's using any kind of witchcraft that is the problem
so
biblically.
well, biblically, because I study comparative religion, I've read every black word on every white page of the Bible because that's how the autism does me. It makes me a avid, thorough person. Um, Basically, like if you're going through the 10 Commandments and it's like, thou shalt have no graven image, no other gods before me, blah, blah, blah. So let's say, for example, Jezebel. I just wrote a song about her. Jezebel was worshiping Asherah. Ashra, Athrat, some people call her Minerva, some people have different names, whatever. But like Asherah was in the Bible, she was removed from the Bible, her worship was removed from the Bible. So now people who worship her are called witches. They're not.
No. I'm telling you that the Bible says that you should not engage in it.
Yeah, but like that's the edited version because
All right.
the
Super
Bible.
edited version.
Yeah,
All right.
So, can I come in?
You would be surprised at what was not in the Hebrew Bible that is in your English Bible today. One of my favorite verses, John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. If you go to the original Hebrew, it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
So
it
much
says
of what
it
is in your
was
English Bible doesn't exist in the original Hebrew. It was
yeah, it says it
superimposed.
was
And then the
us.
Bible, I mean, especially if you're reading the King James Version, I mean, you're talking about somebody who was a literal mother effer, like literally just a depraved person who slept with his mother. And so
Also,
the Council of Nicaea, where they decided to get together and throw certain books out of the Bible and keep certain books in, what you've got is a Diddy remix. So your faith
Okay.
is real, but the book is remixed.
First, someone in the chat that mentioned me. I don't know what we're where we're going right now. So I think her name was Black Hillary. I'm not for sure why she stated something along the lines of me saying something about Uppity's tone. I didn't say anything about Uppity's tone. And if you saw what I wrote, I said that we all needed to be respectful and to move on. So Black Hillary, this is addressed to you.
Wait. All
Can
right.
I talk?
I'm gonna end this live stream because organize this better, Themis. There is no organizing to this. I literally wanted to talk about something that I heard in a super chat that was interesting, but I don't think I'm no longer interested. So like, yeah.
I mean, if you want to do it like another time, you can. I'm free to answer questions.
All right,
Also,
let's do
Donna,
that.
I'm going to put my email in the back chat because I'd love to talk to you on my channel as well.
Yeah, sure. If you and Themis have any questions, we could do this another time. I feel like the energy is still kind of off.
Terrible. And I'm sorry for my contribution to it. I didn't mean to. I'll do better.
Yeah. Thank you all. I don't know who. I forgot how to pronounce your name.
EJ.
I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, so you were talking about angels. I think you asked a question about angels. So in African, okay, let me narrow it down. Nigeria, Igbo cosmology. It is believed that everybody has their chi, that is their god, their personal god. So you hear names like Chioma, it means, yeah, your good god or something like that. So what happens is that we believe, not we, because I'm a Christian, the people that practice traditional religion believe that they have smaller gods working for the Almighty God. So I don't know whether they are called angels. That's how it is. So when something happens to you, say somebody survived an accident, the thing you hear is your chi is awake. That is your personal God is awake. So it could be your angel. And that is why sometimes when you greet somebody, you tell the person, I greet you, and I greet the chi, the God that works for you. It could be angels. That's what I wanted to, chime in.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all the research.
Wait, Themis, please explain how we got here. If I tried, I would know, but it's my fault because I'm too curious. What are we doing what we were doing prior to colonization? Thank
So
you.
if you had read,
Wait. The
okay.
energy is all off tonight. I hope everyone has a happy Friday though. Yeah, the energy is off. Very much so. I'm Islam. There are verses in the Quran that you say to protect you from evil and witchcraft. We avoid calling on entity for help other than God. That's what I understood also. But Donna,
Yeah.
Before we go, I think everyone left. Themis literally invited Donna up to speak about Abia after a super chat she sent. Themis ushered this in just so we are clear. Yeah, that's true. Any so are you living in Jamaica?
No, I'm Jamaican Canadian, so my parents are immigrants from there. I live here. I've been down there before though. My parents are Maroons.
All right. I would like to talk to you publicly again. I said I would not talk about religion publicly, and I said specifically Christianity. I said I would do my my own beliefs and what I understand privately. But I am curious about sort of what other people believe. I actually don't know. I don't know necessarily if I'm supposed to be having this conversation. And so I think part of why, well, not part, that's not why, but I think I need to go talk to my elders, which are like my pastors and stuff, and figure out if I should be. Do I have a trustworthy pastor? I don't think so. Inviting good vibes into the chat. Good vibes are here. Speak it into existence. Giggles. Thank you. What got you started in Obia?
I was just kind of born into it. Like my parents are, Jamaican Maroons, so as you know, we don't follow the Christian
Wait, did you
Abrahamic.
say they were Maroons?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never met a maroon.
Well, now you have.
Oh, that's nice. I go back to like Nanny of the Maroon. So like, sorry if that is cliche to say.
Oh,
Um,
that's okay.
so you were born into it. You said one of the most fantastical thing that happened was you summon um, the goddess of love,
Correct.
and you're saying that you could see her.
Well, no, I'm not clairvoyant, but you could see and feel. But there are ways, protection spells and things that you do to summon the deity to make sure that's the right like
Okay,
one.
don't tell me how. Do not tell me how. But how, like how you did it. But how did you know you summoned her, and then how did you know um, this was not sort of a psychological trick?
Because the way how you like invoke, because we basically the way how you would invoke, you'd put like things that represent that deity, and there are like actual prayers to like call that entity down from ancient times, and you could like feel the energy and like I'm not going to go into too much detail on how it's done because I have respect for your channel and your beliefs, but basically there are spiritual tools that you use for these entities to communicate, talk to you, see with if you're not naturally at that level.
Wait, could you talk to them, her,
Yeah.
and you could hear what she said?
Yeah.
Is it like hearing, regular hearing, or hearing which is a kind of feeling? I don't know if that made sense.
Claire, you're asking about Claire audience. It's kind of like regular hearing, but it's not entirely. It's almost like as a Christian, when you say a prayer to God and you kind of like hear that inner voice, it's kind of like that, but then also like an outside voice. It's like it's hard to explain, but it's like when you like a deity will let you know that they're there.
So you can investigate the Bible and other religious thought. You are simply forbidden to practice them if you are. Timocinto, the Bible said you are to be like wearing, so you can investigate the Bible and other religions or the religious thought. You are simply forbidden to practice them if you are. All right, good. So I can talk about it then. All right, good. Um, so that you said was the most fantastical thing to happen to you. How I want to ask, how do you know it was real and not a psychological trick? But I don't know if you would be able to answer that. I'm
I
gonna
mean,
pose a question, but go ahead.
the way how I know is personally, like you see the fruits in your labor. Like, okay, let's say you petition, let's use Apollyon. Let's say you petition Apollyon and you're like, I want $1,000, right? Like you write your petition, you burn your candles, you put your offering, you want $1,000, right? Let's say you're doing money work and you struggle. The way how you will know is you will see ways to get the money open up appear to you. Like you will see the fruits of your labor. Like
Wait. So the money doesn't just appear.
no, this is not Harry Potter, child. I wish I would poof myself into a millionaire.
So if you the question I'm asking then still stands because if you pray, like if I pray and then I'm like, oh, that's how I could do it. That spark of genius or creativity or whatever it is, like how do you know where that comes from?
Because deities have like very like active signs. I mean, obviously we don't 100% know for sure like how God communicates and all that stuff, right? But deities for the most part have like signs in like the physical world that let you know that they want to work with you. Like if you see a lot of like abnormal bird activity that are crows, that's Apollo trying to reach out to you. And then if you feel like drawn to water and other things, like they let you know. Or you go to a priestess, like a high priestess, and they'll just let you know. But there are ways that they show you, or they appear to you in dreams. A lot of deities communicate through dreams. They
How do
like
you? Sorry, go ahead. I wanted you to finish.
oh, I was just gonna say, like how Gabriel in the Bible came to Joseph in dreams. They do that too. Like they let
So
you know.
So if there's no like way to like verify it in like the most obvious way, is it strange? Because it's strange to me. So I'm showing my hand that like the way magic is done, it seems not magic or spell or whatever, doesn't seem to be like ever overt. Like you don't see it happening. So like you could justify like almost any event with not 666 people watching. Someone need to leave or someone need to come in. I don't like that. Um is does it seem odd to you that you didn't see it happening?
I have seen like lower level spirits. I'm not gonna say I can't see spirits, but gods are just, at least for me, because I'm a younger practitioner, gods are so like above my vibration that I can't necessarily see them like I can like just a ghost walking around. Like, you know what I'm saying? It like there's levels to spirits. Like your ancestors are not on the same level as like, gods. So my ability to see is like
Oh, I've heard about the sort of heavenly ranking, or spiritual ranking, of like different kinds of
yeah.
deities.
Like
Do
most
you know how? Go
oh
ahead.
sorry. No, continue.
Do you know how to rank them? Do you not have a rough understanding of like the levels?
Yeah, so basically in like African spirituality, it would be I forget the exact word for it, but it would be like spirits that are here, like human spirits that are here for like malicious like intent, like people that died in tragic accidents, murderers that are left behind, people like that. Then it would be like your ancestors. Then you have in between that you have the bad ancestors, and then you have the good ones who watch over you and protect you. Then above that you have your land spirits, such as like the spirits of the trees and the forest and things like that. And then you have your angels and your demons, because they're kind of separate from deities, but they kind of are the same. And then you have your deities above it, such as like your Zeus, your um, Anubis and things like that. And then you have the Most High, which is like the creator of all things. So that's how the heavenly ranking works generally.
Got it. Themis, the same argument can be made about your belief system. How do you know it's real? How do you know it's not just your head? Well, I don't ask God for things generally. Um, I just pray and give thanks. So my faith doesn't require believing anything is going to happen. Like I believe in heaven, and I'm trying to understand fully the Bible, but like I don't like I don't get sick and like pray to not be sick. So like my faith is like can be blind insofar as like I don't actually think about it in that way. Um, my grandmother did, and so she's been praying over me for all my life. I think she said so. Those strongest in faith got there through understanding the alternatives and still choosing their path. You should learn, but the conversation should be intentional and done responsibly. It'd be a fascinating series. Oh, I shouldn't I? And get some Christian people to like help me further. Um, so you do you believe that Obia is anti the Bible in the way that we have conceptualized Christianity?
I mean, yes, but it comes from an ignorance, and we
All right,
know
so
why this was done. So,
go ahead. No, go ahead, please. Can you come closer to the mic so we can hear?
oh, I was just gonna say we understand why that was done. You know, the white colonialists edited a lot of the Bible even now, even the version that's here now, I kind of wish Uppity was here to like explain it more, but like even the version that we have now is not the same version they were using to evangelize the slaves. So it kind of just becomes whatever they want it to become. So I don't really take that seriously. It just comes from an ignorance because when they came to Africa and they were using our herbalism and all that stuff in our practices, it was divine. But then when we used it to fight back against them, it became demonic. So it really just goes wherever they want it to go. So I don't really take that seriously. And there's also something else I just want to quickly address in the chat. Just because people don't have your same beliefs does not mean you get to try to put schizophrenia on people. Like, that's really disrespectful. You don't know people's mental health. It's out of line, it's out of order. Like, we could easily say any prophet in the Bible was crazy and a lot of other things. I'm not doing
Yeah.
that to
Wait, let me address the thread. Can we try to be respectful? Because Donna is sharing her time, and I did call her up here, so like to disrespect her is not okay at all. So when it comes to your understanding of obia, and Jamaicans prosecute people who they catch in it, even though a lot of people do it behind the scenes, right? First, did you feel safe? Do you feel safe generally?
in terms of what, like
Your practice. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel safe.
All right. The second, shouldn't everyone who engage in this, shouldn't they all be like rich if they wanted to be?
Well, I mean, the spirit of richness does not come to everybody, right? Like everybody can't be rich, and not everybody wants to be rich too. It's all like the desire. Everybody has like a different life path, a different like path you're supposed to go down. Everybody's not
So
supposed to be prosperous and da da da
that
da.
was one. That was one. And shouldn't people be healthy then? I'm assuming the spirit of health wouldn't be with everyone.
No, it wouldn't be. Everybody's life path is different. Like it's in heaven when you're being created, we believe that you sign your life path up there. So your life path could be da 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 da. You know, you get rich or whatever, then you die at 27 years old.
Okay, so it wouldn't matter then. It wouldn't matter then. It wouldn't matter what you do on earth if you already sign. Like it feels like there is not much in the way of agency if you've already signed it.
No, I mean you can break your spirit contract, your life contract. You can. Spirit
All right.
spirit is like this, how it works. Spirit is like, hey, when you work with us, when you get down to the earth in this life, you know, this, if you want this. Now, you could say no and completely reject that. Like, the spirits can put, oh, if you do this, you can become a millionaire. You could say, no, actually, I don't want that. I'd rather just marry this guy and live a simple life. You could do that. Spirits, the thing is with spirit will never force on you your free will. Now, your spiritual team, your spirit guides, your ancestors, they will advise you, like, hey, I think this would be best for you if you don't go over here or you don't do this. This would be for the best interest of your highest self and your greater good. You could always say no, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to go do me, and they'll be like, okay, they're not going to stop you. As long as it's in your free will, then they're not going to stop you.
All right. So when I was going to go through all the potential spirits, a multiple of them, but I don't have to do that. I'll just summarize it and then say, how is this different than just being a regular? Because it seems like there is an excuse always, and this has been my problem with religion generally outside of my Christianity. It's everything gets explained away and you never actually have to prove anything, which I guess that's probably the issue with faith generally. Where it's like, if you can call upon the powers to be healthy and to heal, then it becomes, oh, well, you don't have that power. And then when an individual has that power and quote unquote healed someone, and then someone with an illness go to them and it didn't heal, there's always kind of like a, a, a way to explain why it didn't work, which makes sense. So, how do you? This is so terrible, and I apologize.
No, no,
Um,
it's okay.
how do you know that the magic works?
It,
Someone says
ma-
a
it
Scotsman fallacy. Yeah, go ahead.
it will manifest in real life. We're not like a faith just based on faith, like, well, we're not even a religion, but we're not a faith based on faith. It's faith by works. So when you reach out to a deity to better your health or to open up ways that you could get treatment, you know, to help your health, or like, hey, I'm asking for money, opening up new ways for me to make money so I could take this money, invest into my health, you have to see those paths suddenly open. And if you're working with like deities like Apollo, Aphrodite, Oshun, things like that, you will see these things open up pretty quickly. You know, if you don't see it opening up, then clearly the magic's not working and you have to go back and do it again and reformulate your spells. Like it's a it's a work. When you work magic and spirituality, it's based on you seeing results and growth. It's not just, oh, we're having faith to have faith. Like, we don't believe in that. The same way how, let's say somebody makes a pact with Apollo, you say, Apollo, great god of the sun, I come to you
No,
humbly
no,
with
no,
this
no! Don't do
offering.
it! Don't do it! Don't do
And
it!
then you give him an offering, right? And then you say, okay, in exchange for this offering, I want, I come to you with this contract, right? You come with a deity contract, and then you come and you give him, whatever you like. I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to scare you for price, but you say, okay, I want to buy a new house here. I want to have the income for this. Like, you have to write out your contracts specifically for what you want. Then you're like, okay, you give me this. Let's say you say, okay, you give me this. I'm going to build you a nice big altar, right?
Yep.
When Apollo does what he needs to do for you have to build that altar. You don't build that altar, Apollo will, like any deity, will mess up your life. They will make it you suddenly lose your job, you suddenly become homeless, and there's no repenting. Like, if you make a promise to Jesus, you could make a promise, go out, sin right after, break your promise, and then it's fine, you come back. It doesn't work that way with other deities. You don't keep your promise. Depending on how serious that deity is when they're mad, you could go from losing it all to losing your life. They don't play. So there's
So,
no like there's no
so
like
this in contemporary world, this feels like the contract with the devil.
I mean,
So, oh, you can respond. Sorry, that was.
I was just gonna say, like, I mean, it's not. It doesn't work like how Hollywood shows you, where the entity is gonna try to trick you or something. It's not like that. It's just they worked for you, right? They worked for you. They did this work. They used their energy to manifest things into the human world for you. They would like the payment back for things that you ask them. Like, and a deity will never. Well, I will say good deities and honest ones. They will never let you make a contract that you can't keep. Like, even Lucifer, even as much as Hollywood likes to put that stuff on him, he's not gonna make you make a contract that you can't keep.
Wait,
Like,
so is Lucifer good?
uh, well, I mean, he's not good or bad. He's just a light bearer. He's honestly just he's all about free will and just enlightening yourself.
This seems
That's literally
inconsistent with the Bible. Am I
because
misreading the Bible?
the Bible has edited Lucifer and Satan, which are two people, into one. So it's very complex.
All right. So when you say you make a contract with an entity, they will. How do you know that the entity said yes? Is it just based on what you reap?
You would have a pendulum. You would have like there's obviously devices for communication between spirit and human, but yeah, you would see that they accept when it starts to work and you give them the offering. Like, because to go in, you're giving them an offering, and then you're asking them for this, and then you're giving them another offering, and it's like, okay, sure, and you'll know they accept because you're going to use like divination tools to know that they accept.
Wait, yeah, please do not try any of this, anything that's happening here. This is not a how-to. I'm intentionally asking.
Please do not. Please
Um,
don't.
there's something called life path numbers based on birth date numbers. I will definitely look into that. Thank you. You can calculate your life path number and predict and trajectory, including karmic depth. Thank you. I won't practice any of it. I will look into them though. All right. So you can know that it's signed, and if you don't, could it be a potential that you could lose your life if you don't fulfill your part?
It honestly depends on the entities. Most entities are not going to go that far. Most will just take away the stuff. Like if you ask for a new apartment and you say, okay, when I get this new apartment, I'm gonna like, because every entity has like their favorite things. Like Lucifer has a particular type of whiskey he likes. Now, if you say, okay, if you get me this new apartment, I'll give you whiskey. And he's like, okay, great. So he works, he opens up ways to get you more money. If you're applying to apartments, he makes it that, like, let's say you got turned down from this specific apartment. You want the person calls you back up. He will make it that other people won't get it and you will. And then you get it. And then you don't give him his whiskey. He's going to be like, wait a minute. I did this for you. So I'm going to do free work and you're not going to pay me. He'll just take back the apartment. He'll make you just suddenly lose the apartment. That's it. Now, there are some entities that if you cross them, like I'll use Papa Legba as an example, but he's not bad. He's just the opener of the crossways. Now, if he asks you for something and you don't do it, he will literally take your life. He will take your life for not paying that back. He will get it back in blood.
Can any people commune with Papa Legba?
I wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, it depends. If he's the deity that guards you, like, because you could get a reading done and see which entity guards you in like Voodoo. If he's the one that guards you, then sure. But I would not recommend just anybody just going towards Papa Legba. He's more like an advanced deity.
Do all these entities bow to Jesus?
Who's Jesus?
My Jesus.
No, because Jesus, last time I checked, is not the Most High, but they bow to the Most High, yes.
To Jehovah?
Well, we don't call him Jehovah, we just call him the Most High. We don't believe we could put a name. We can't put a name on that entity. It's too.
So this is not the Bible then?
No, not entirely. It depends. There's different type of like spiritual systems you could follow.
It feels like when we were talking that in the beginning, when we initially started, you said that it's the Bible, it's the same God, but it's not the same God.
No, I mean for like the angels and demons, like when we use angels and demons, yes, it's like that same Most High, but we just don't call the Most High any like name. I'm saying from African spirituality, when Black Christians are calling the Judeo-Christian God the Most High, they got that from African spiritual practices. That's what I was saying. But in terms of like the Most High, the one that's created like all the gods, all the different gods from all the different pantheons, like source, we don't put a name to that because there's no way you can comprehend what that is.
So the Most High in your tradition is not the Most High that is named biblically. It's not Yahweh. It's not that.
No, I mean it. I'm saying it is like it's source, but we just don't give source a name because you cannot. That reduces the power of source. Like, but in terms of what you're talking about, the God that created the heavens, the earth, um, the planets and everything in between, yeah, we have the Most High. It's not these entities. These entities were created by that person, that being, but we just don't put a name on it because then you reduce its power. You cannot possibly comprehend who that is. That's why we don't call him a Yahweh or Jehovah or anything.
So it's
Because
not the
even by
God of
giving,
the. It could be the God of the Bible, but it's not the God named in the Bible. So it's not the
yeah,
God that I would pray to.
yeah, it's not the name of that. When we want to call on the Most High, we say creator of all, the source of all, the source of the stars, the planets, the entities, and everything between. We don't give it a name because you can't. You literally can't. Even by giving him the name Yahweh, you're reducing him. Like even by giving him the name Yahweh and calling him him, you're reducing it to a human concept. We don't believe in doing that.
So is it when we see these like spiritual battles, or we don't see it, but we hear people talk about these spiritual battles where they were in witchcraft, and then a preacher came to them and their spirit were disturbed. Um, if that is the case, it, are they lying about sort of their interaction with a godly man who then really removed whatever spirit that they worked with and that kind of stuff? Is that just not the case, or can that be the case? And what do you think is happening there?
It's kind of all of the above, and I'll explain it like one by one. Most of
Mhm.
these pastors are just faking it. They're paying people to fake it, like they are. Um, yes, there are spirits that obviously can do possession, but that's not going to be on anything of the level of like, I'm just using Lucifer as an example because most people who here are Christian and can understand that. Most of those entities that you're going to interact with are not at the level of Lucifer. And this is not to be me when I say this. Okay, I'm not. But I mean, let's get real here. An angel who is like a high ranking angel in another dimension that has tasks and duties, like entities have their own life. They're not coming down to earth to haunt regular people for no reason. Like, yes, technically people can send an entity to do something to you, but that's more like low level spirits. And yes, like higher, like people can do spells working with higher like gods and stuff to attack people, but that's rare that that happens. And not saying a Christian pastor can't get rid of that, but there's certain rituals and stuff that you have to do that they don't have the comprehension of doing to do that. Not saying it's impossible for all of them, because I'm sure there are some of them that can invoke and get rid of those things, but the majority, it's stage, they can't.
So they're not, when they call on Jehovah Jireh, or Jehovah Nishi, I think, they're not, that wouldn't have power against spirit because it's not a name.
No, no, no. It's like it is a God's name. Like Jehovah is a deity. It would have power, but I'm saying even if you're going to use the biblical God, even in the Bible, it says there are ways that you have to invoke Jehovah to banish something, which most pastors don't know how to do. So no, it's not it like getting rid of something possessing somebody or like an evil spirit, depending on the level, depending on if you're going from level 1 to 10, is not as easy as saying Jehovah. It's
Oh,
not like there's a
when I
whole process you have to do.
when I asked earlier if we were talking about the same God, you seem to suggest that we were, but you just didn't want to name it. Now I'm asking, and it seems like you're saying that's a different God, just lower. Because when I
No,
just
I'm
said
not.
Jehovah,
Okay, I'm
oh,
gonna I'm
sorry, go
gonna
ahead.
I'm gonna explain it better because no, I get why you're confused because it is a God name. We just don't say it's the God name. Like we don't believe the Most High Source has just one name. We believe there is like a one true name, but it would never tell us its actual name.
All right.
Basically, but it
Be-
is one.
Because by an entity's name you can control them. I'm thinking that was from who is the smartest person to ever live? Solomon. Yeah, so you can command by the name. But that would mean your God and my God are different. In your conception, your God is too big to be named the Most High. But in my conception, my God can be named, but your conception have him lower.
Not necessarily lower. It's just that we don't have one name for source because the God that created the entities, the angels, and all of that, and like we just don't believe in giving it one name. Like, yeah, we do use Jehovah, but we also call him like if we're doing like a spell, let's say, and we're calling on the Most High, and we're using the God name, we will use Jehovah, we will use Allah, we will use we will use the God names of different religions that describe the Most High, but we don't believe as humans we have the one true name. That's all I'm saying. We don't believe we have the one true name. We cannot because we're too little of beings to even comprehend like Source's actual name.
So when I say if I name it, it's not your God then.
No, it is, but it is, but it isn't. I'm saying it's a name that it's a name that we use to invoke the Most High, but we
All
don't
right.
believe that Most High is just limited to the Bible's interpretation of the Most High.
All right. I mean, I would agree that the Bible probably cannot paint a full picture of God.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
But the name. Do you know? And if you don't, it's fine. Do you know? Do you understand the name and control and why that's important? I don't know. I just know that was a thing. And I read it when I was trying to understand
Yeah,
Solomon.
because everything is in a name, but it's not as easy as a name. Like in Obia, we have guard rings, we use Solomon pentacles, and those things come from Solomonic magic. But yeah, and knowing an entity's name is important because everything is in a name.
What are her thoughts toward goddess worship and divine feminine? Broad question, but interested in her response. Um, okay, yeah. What are your thoughts towards goddess worship and the divine feminine?
I mean, the divine feminine and goddess worship is a part of the creation of the universe. God is both masculine and feminine energies. I
Hmm.
mean, it's
I'm
it's
seeing the infinity symbol, but isn't that like, well, obviously we've gotten out of the scope of the Bible at this point, and we agree that you are saying the Bible is out of it was misinterpreted, and so the misinterpreted Bible would suggest that that is anti sort of obviously anti-Christian because it is the Christians are going to be mad now. It is God, the man, the woman, and then the child. I've had a
I mean,
problem. Go
that's
ahead.
I mean, that's fine for I mean the Christian Bible. They could say God the God then the man, but we all know a woman came first. I mean, that's fine for the Christians and their Bible, child. But that's
My
not the
child.
reality.
Um, no, so I'm not going to investigate this because I've had a problem with this, and I've been like, not a problem, like I'm trying to speak to Christians who can like better explain this because it feels weird to say because you are man, you are the head, are you yours to lead when we have so many incompetent men. So I I had a problem, but how do you describe the divine feminine?
The divine feminine is the great mother, the one who birthed humanity. I mean, it's much more complex then that
No, I mean,
like
I don't fully understand, but the divine feminine is supposed to be agreeable to some extent. It's
not exactly. I mean, that's aspects, but like if you look into entities like Lilith, that is also an aspect of the divine feminine. Like femininity is not just all love and light. It's not. Like
Themis, I think you have a lot of reading to do. There's a plethora of secular scholarly work that affirms the claim in the Bible. Oh no, I know. I plan on it. This is not a debate. Like I'm not trying to push back. I do have a lot of work to do on my own sort of religious belief. I fully recognize that. And I want to take the time to sort of apologize, I think, to Christians if you think that I am poorly representing Christians because I'm not currently attempting to uh, fight with my beliefs. I'm first trying to understand, and from understanding, I can move from there. But I do apologize if that is causing discomfort. I don't know what you were saying, Donna. Go ahead.
oh, I was just saying it's the great mother. Femininity is not all love and light. Like Lilith is a divine feminine. Like when female deities get like Aphrodite is a divine feminine, and Aphrodite is not all love and light. If you look into her story, she's a war goddess, and she's actually very ruthless when she's ready. Like it's not all love and light, the divine feminine. It's like both.
Apparently, goddess worship is historically ancient and predates the concept of the male god. There's also the dark feminine. I am a religious skeptic. So I am a huge skeptic also, just generally, which is my general discomfort with everything. So on the final note, because I don't want to keep you too long, and I do appreciate you sharing your time.
Yeah, I was gonna say yes to Jason. So like
Yeah.
you can
So if is there let me end with this. Is there any way that I could convince you that Christianity is the right way?
No, I've tried being a Christian before. I really did, like with a genuine open heart because I thought it was interesting. It's just not for me. I respect aspects of it, and there are things I can like agree with and kind of see familiarity with, but it's just not for me.
The divine mother is everything black women are Lilith. All right. So can we can we make a commitment to continue conversations?
Sure, I mean, I'll email you if you want to like set up a panel and invite a few other people, and like we could talk about this some more. I'd love to do this show. I love this. It's my favorite topic.
Oh, all right, awesome. We will set it up. Hopefully, there will not be a lot of people in here at the time. If there are, it's fine, but I think it's more comfortable when not a lot of people are in here. So I will do that. I will try to get someone who is more aware of Christianity and its principles in on the conversation too. Hopefully, it's not more than 5 of us, so we can have a discussion.
Yeah, that would be good. An intermediate. I can't speak, child. An intermediate Christian. I'm an intermediate witch, so I could be there, and then you could get like an advanced practitioner and like a pastor or something. That would actually be cool. I'd be open to that. As long as it doesn't just turn into like insults. So I mean, I won't insult anybody, but like I don't want anybody like being like you demonic, like
Yeah.
like as long as it's civil.
So people are saying that I'm lying about the Bible, talking about witchcraft. So before I was trying to find it, but it does say, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live," which is like a harsh, which is what they used in Salem for the witch trials. And ye shall not use enchantment nor observe times, and that sort of stuff. Leviticus also says a man also or woman that has a familiar spirit or that is a wizard shall surely be put to death. So the Salem witch trial was predicated on biblical principles. Before you go, that was the response to people in the chat. But before you go, do you have familiars? or familiar?
No, personally, I don't, but some witches do. A familiar is like an animal, basically like a dog or a cat or a bird or I don't know. Let's say you have a cow as a pet. I don't know why you would, but it's basically an animal that is attracted to you on a level of your souls. Like your souls are like meant to be intertwined in some way. Basically, that's the easiest way that I can understand it. But I've never had one. No.
Ah, Themis, have you ever discussed traditional religion in your family? Um, Not fully. Um, a lot of your favorite designer brands are doing spell work and using ancient symbols. Do you ever wonder why people are addicted? Oh, I mean, I don't know if that's why people are addicted, but like I did see some level of demon worship in music and on the Grammy stage. And so I actually had a slide um, thinking about whether or not people were Satanist in the sort of entity worshiping aspect, or if they were like, what's his name? Aleister Crowley, where it was like, do as thou wilt. Um,
Oh, he's something else. Father of the occult, as they say.
Yeah. Themis, read Dr. MLK's essay on pagan influence on Christianity. He wrote at least 2 essays in seminary college about how early Christianity directly appropriated pagan holidays and ritual. Please send that to me. That sounds actually quite interesting. I went in on that conversation. People need to trigger through trigger warning. I think trigger through understanding other people beliefs are paramount to community. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have a terrible thing about trigger warnings, and I'm not very good at doing them, so I sincerely apologize. um as a practitioner of African-based spiritual system, I would like to participate and add another perspective in the future, if possible. Great convo. All right, awesome. Before we go, on Aleister Crowley, why do people disavow him? Like, I disavow him because, like, he said he's a Satanist at some point. So, like, as a Christian, I'm like, I am not that. But why do occultists sort of reject him? What did he like sacrifice things?
Did he? Oh Lord. Long story short, because Crowley's a whole different conversation. One, he would steal work from other occultists, but two, he works a lot with excuse me, the Baphomet figure, and that figure is just that's a whole other topic we'd have to get into. That's what Sam Smith was doing on stage, that Baphomet worship. But anyways, and his do what thou wilt, he invokes a lot of dark, very, very dark things that we just
Hmm.
don't agree with.
When
Such
he
as,
died, did he actually say that something to the effect of I was wrong, or was that made up?
I don't exactly remember because like it's been a long time since like I've listened to Crowley, think about Crowley, but I would have to go fact check that and look that up. I don't know, but he was into a lot of demonic things, especially when I say demonic, I don't mean actual demons. I mean like horrible things with like
Gotcha.
children and child sacrifice and stuff like that. And when it came
Ah,
to
that's what I
Baphomet.
was thinking. Look up Gnostic rejected books of the Bible. I will. I'm gonna rewatch this and find what I need to look up. One thing I noticed: Christians are scared of anything not in the Bible. But I do some research. You will find out that we were lied to about the Bible and so-called Jesus. Council of Nicaea. If Monnier was on, he would have pointed out the Council of Nicaea because that's all he. Every time religion comes up, he reminds me of the Council of Nicaea. So thank you. I have been force fed editing of the Bible vis-a-vis the Council of Nicaea through Monnier. So I will actually be looking more into this separately. But yeah, Montre. Aleister Crowley wasn't evil, and I've studied his work and still do. His work are being heavily misquoted, and this isn't true. Baphomet isn't evil. I'd like to discuss misinformation is being stated. All right, well, we will set up another live, because if we have an Aleister Crowley defender, I would like to hear that, because I'm gonna go look into some research, because I am sure that I saw something about sacrifice, like somewhere.
I'm not saying all of Crowley's work is bad. Like modern day tarot really got popping because of Crowley. I'm not saying all of his work is bad, but not all of it is necessarily stuff we'd agree with. And Baphomet, I'm not saying Baphomet's an evil entity in itself. I'm just saying a lot of the energy and the aspects of Baphomet that people tap into may not be the best. But on that note, I really do have to go, so I'll email you.
Yeah, same. All right, thank you so much for your time. Thank you to all 500, 600 people who are in here now. Lovely T did a video on him. I will definitely go try to find that. Truth Teller, just make sure you include sources that directly address the historical truth of the Bible, since it's clear most in the chat are anti-Christian. I don't know if you want to be a part of this conversation, but you can definitely be a part of the conversation next time. I cannot promise what I will do, but please definitely, if you want. I'm going to talk to Christians and see if having the conversation is itself a problem. Especially for people in the chat that are clenching the... This live took an interesting turn, and remember, the Church of Satan and the Satanic Temple are different tenets, purposes, interpretation, practices, etc. Thank you, because I don't know this, and I just kind of see it as one thing. And so that's my own ignorance. Trigger through, not trigger warning. Oh, this was a message for people in the chat who were clutching holy pearls. I wanted them to be able to sit through their triggers to learn. All right. I mean, I think my interviewing was horrible on this, because I just kind of honestly had questions that I wanted to know. So hopefully in the future, I'll be more thoughtful about what to ask. Thank you guys so much for still being here. I really do appreciate it. Sorry I didn't get to the video that we were supposed to watch, but all is well. That ends well, I think the phrase is. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Bye.